So, as all of you know, last night at about 2:30 in the morning, my entire bathroom exploded. Well, it was actually the upstairs people, and
or them.
I'm telling this story because we're recording now. There's, I decided because I needed to stop freaking out, and the buckets were filling up very quickly, that I wanted to create a sort of gutter system which went into the bathtub. So I got like my cookie sheet and another pizza tray and that like TV table thing and like duct tape and things to make it on a slant, and tried to make all the water fall into it so it would go into the bathtub.
That's some true Dad MacGyver shit.
Well, yeah. Funnily enough, it made me feel better to like be trying something in like my engineer's mind. Unfortunately, it didn't work at all.
Alas.
And then I used my trash can to catch the water, but turns out if the trash can goes up too high, it then goes out where the pedal is and just floods my entire bathroom. And then my downstairs neighbor knocked on my door at 6 a.m. and said, "Hey, there's water coming into my bathroom. Is it happening in yours too?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's been happening all night."
Is there like nuts in it?
So the bathroom's off limits.
I think so.
No, the bathroom's fine.
It's nice.
Bathroom's fine now.
Gives a good texture.
But I got roughly 7 hours really randomly throughout the night, so I'm technically alive. So,
I'm technically alive.
welcome everybody. Welcome to the Bone Era. Welcome back. Everyone, make sure this is recording this time. It is. Success.
Great, even us.
Last time on Welcome to the Bone Era.
Oh, we're in the house.
Well, you are, but what happened first? First, you wrapped up everything with Myrefall. You made your way back with Extandor and Amelia and Irishal, and you made your way back to the town of Myrefall in the mountains. There you talked with Devillo, the Baron of Myrefall, who was pleased to hear that the werewolf situation was taken care of, and paid you all 2,000 gold for successfully completing that quest. He also got talked to by Extandor about maybe combining Myrefall and Camp Buon-Lupo into a single society. And Devillo said, "We'll hold a vote. It'll be fine. We believe in democracy in this kingdom here."
Integration. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Salvador doesn't pay attention to Myrefall, so they can really do what they want, apparently.
Fair enough. What he doesn't know won't hurt us.
Exactly. But the other thing he suggested upon hearing about Alfonso's death, he suggested that you go check out his house to see if you can find anything more out about Alfonso, because he had actually only showed up in Myrefall about a year ago. You do eventually go over there, and you found a photograph, or a painting, a small painting, of, it looked like Alfonso's old adventuring crew, the Fabulous Five, and they apparently had died due to something that Alfonso did, according to the journal that you found. And he had moved to Myrefall to make up for it and try to be a hero. And so when he sacrificed himself and said, "This is for my friends," you guessed that that's really who he was talking about. You then went to the speech and the vote and everything, and they were going to hold it in the inn. You didn't stay in Meyerfall to find out whether that succeeded. As you were leaving, Amelia came up to you and said, "Hey, if there's anything you ever need from me, I'm there. Like, if you need me, my help, whatever, I'm there." And she apologized for like getting super mad at Nala and whatnot, and y'all moved on. Then you trekked through the woods, down the same mountain path you took in order to get to Meyerfall originally. On the trip, you found that there was a kerfuffle of this wounded cougar, some like wild dogs that had apparently attacked said wounded cougar, and a man who you found out is named Billiam Rake, who was apparently like a wildlife conservationist and veterinarian, who was trying to like save the cougar from the attack and was trying to protect this cougar and make sure the cougar was okay. He was not having any success, so Lilia decided to give it a go, and this cougar seemed to really like Lilia. And after Billiam left, the cougar followed you guys, especially Lilia, and y'all named this cougar Daisy. And you've now got a cougar pet because...
Awesome.
Why not? In the next couple nights, I don't remember exactly which one, Nala had a seemingly vision, a dream of a massive tower, a 3-towered structure in the rain with lots of dead people, and a captured dragon that looked at Nala and said, "Help me." And Nala woke up in a sort of cold sweat, if dragon-born sweat.
Do they sweat?
They do now.
Well, do they pant? Whatever. It's
They have lungs?
yeah, but I mean, it depends on the reason. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But Nala, yes, and Shar asked her if she was okay, and Nala said she was worried about not following the path that she's supposed to be on. Or not yet, at least. But y'all all have character plots that you will eventually have to deal with, I think.
Yay!
But
That sounds fake.
no,
Not for me.
no.
It sounds
Sounds fake, but okay.
My wife's already dead. Leave me alone.
So
What about that ring? Oh, wait.
Hey, I picked it back up.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that is another thing. Qren picked up his ring again from the fire a
And
long
you
while
also
ago. That
have
was
a
during
ring.
last session. So.
I do.
Oh yeah, it was very much.
You don't know anything about it yet.
Yeah, you don't know anything about that, I don't think.
I haven't said anything.
You said
I thought
that it was your sister.
Standard told us verbally about
For
that
which?
ring.
Oh, we're
Oh,
thinking of
yeah,
different
no.
things.
Oh, that
Talking
ring!
about-
The
talking about
wolf ring, hell yeah.
werewolf
That
ring.
ring.
Yeah, you do have the
Oh,
werewolf
now I'm
ring.
intrigued
Well, now
with
there's
what
another
you
ring
mean.
that we don't know about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
right.
there's a secret ring that
We all
none of
are
you know about.
sporting jewels. Yes.
Yes, Extandor did give you the wolf ring that might be able to summon like a lycanthrope to help fight.
That would be so cool.
But might. It's a
Might.
low chance. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, so the next day, you continue walking, and you make it basically out of the mountains, or at least into sort of a valley area where it's more plains again. And in front of you, you saw a very familiar forest in front of you that sort of shimmered with the portal that it was inside of. You notice this to be where the Arloso family home is, which you found many, many sessions ago. And given that Daisy seemed cool with it, you went inside.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
Listen, animals know when this
That's
shit
sense.
that's up.
Yeah,
didn't feel bad, man.
for sure. It didn't feel bad, man. But you went inside, and you noticed that the forest was now lush and verdant again. Or not again, you didn't know what it was like before. But it now was lush and
Was
verdant.
dead.
And you made your way through. You saw these animals that sort of shimmered like they were kind of holograms. And you went into the house proper, and you found that it had all been cleaned and fixed up, and a few of the paintings had moved around. Wynn tried calling out, like, "Hello, is anybody here?" And sort of heard a very minor voice in the distance a couple times, so it seemed like somebody was here. After quite a lot of exploration, you eventually found the portrait of the Arloso family, and Lorella was no longer in that painting. You searched around some more, and you found that Lorella was inside the forest painting. You called out to her, she turned to you guys and beckoned you to come inside, and as soon as you touched the painting, you all vanished and became part of the painting as well, unable to move around. And you met Lorella Arloso.
She's adorable.
Or the version of her that still exists, which is this painted version. She explained that before Morlos killed her, she basically saved herself by painting her into a painting using the gifts that Yaren had given her. Because her plan to subdue Morlos by trapping him inside one of these paintings was unsuccessful.
She tried.
She was 13.
Yeah, she was about 13.
Gifted girl, though.
Very smart.
You also found Arnald Arloso, the father of the Arloso family. You found his journal, which was written in this archaic form of common. And Lorella said that would be where to look as far as figuring out how to work the house, because she bequeathed you the house. It is yours now, but figuring out how to find it again is like the first step, and figuring out how to move it's a whole nother thing. So that's basically what she said. You've got the journal, but it does look very complicated and arcane, so you're going to have to spend some time looking at it and studying it and figuring it out in order to do it. But you technically have a house now. So after that, you all found a place to sleep, though there are really only 3 beds. So you get out your bedrolls or whatever. You're used to sleeping on the floor anyway. And you went to sleep in this land, in this pocket dimension where the Arloso family home is.
Love it.
So while you're sleeping,
It looks really nice.
you all bed down. Feels very nice. Qren.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, thank you.
Uh-oh.
You have the hat.
It's because I didn't have the hat.
I'm committed to this. This is a good luck hat.
I didn't wear the overalls. Maybe that was it.
You again find yourself in a familiar temple. Arm around your wife, who sits to your right. 2 of your children sit next to you, playing with some toys and not paying attention to the event you're attending. In front of you, you see a priest of Pelor, standing next to your son, Neva, dressed in priestly attire and nervously reciting lines that he's diligently memorized for his big day. You know this day well, and this dream, as it's exactly the one you had before on the ship, crossing over to Infar. Suddenly, flames begin to appear in the corner to the left and in front of you. Time seems to slow down, and you begin standing up. You look around you at the other members of the congregation, all standing and starting to scream, fear showing on their faces. Another flame starts in the other corner. People still in like weird slow motion scream, sickly, deep screams as time moves so slowly. The flames begin spreading faster than any flames you've ever seen, and begin to engulf the stage where your son and priest are standing. Mm-hmm. Neva looks directly into your eyes, fear and confusion on his face. Time freezes completely, except for the flames which burn slowly. And you hear a voice that you've heard before. I wanted to give you more of that day. There are things you don't know and need to know for the coming months. Take a look around. You find yourself no longer frozen, although everything around you still is. The flames slowly flicker back and forth, and the expressions of fear on everyone's faces remain. But you can move around and see what's happening. What do you do?
Jesus.
Well, I'm not pleased. So they're not to the congregation yet. They're just at the stage.
They are burning up. Yes, around. Basically, what you see in front of you is like a dais with sort of a podium section. I'm imagining a Jewish temple because that's all I know. So there's like a dais in front, and the priest and Neva are standing there. Neva's staring at you creepily and looking terrified as the flames have now basically started to engulf the stage and the front few pews. Mm-hmm. You're like 4 or 5 back, and you've got there are doors to the sides of this current room you're in, and the back of the church behind you, or back of the temple.
Mm-hmm. Can I see is the door open?
Make a perception check. Through the flames, as the flames are still going, even though you're frozen, it's weird. It's like they are moving so quickly that even Wee Jas's power and this memory or this flashback, she can't completely stop it. Because something's with these flames. So as the flames are going, you can see that the door is closed, but soon to be engulfed to the left of you.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Sure. You cast Detect Magic. That was a spell you had back then.
Oh, yeah.
Through Pelor, though. And it feels different when you cast it. It feels like lighter and more of healing, and it's just a lighter feeling to when you cast Wee Jas, and it feels sort of foreign to you at this point in your life. But it works. And all around you, you see the flames themselves give off a magical aura.
Does it? Like a certain type of aura, or just...
Evocation.
Oh.
Or not even... Yeah, evocation is the hitting things one. What do you do? You're still standing there.
I'm trying to decide if I should go towards my kids or towards the door. Well, because if I open the door... Don't judge me in my choices with my children. So I know... Because I know that my youngest is 5. Can I grab him and try the door?
Okay, as you grab him, make an athletics check.
Ooh, all the things. 7.
So as you grab him, you try and pull, and he seems frozen, locked in that time. It seems to be only you that's allowed to move around.
Okay, well, I'll go try the door.
Okay, you try it, it opens. And you're out on the street of Scorch Pass. And what Scorch Pass looks like in my head is a fucking western, because it's your fucking fault. So there's a big...
I didn't mean for this to happen. I honestly
like
didn't.
Yeah.
Tumbleweeds, yeah.
To be fair, the hat didn't appear until like session 3.
That's true,
I
technically.
didn't do it on purpose.
Anyway, so what you see outside is the main street. There's like the main street and the thing, and there are buildings that line each side, including the temple that's behind you, and you look back, and the whole side of the temple is just roaring in flames now. Across the way, too, you see that multiple other buildings are on fire. People are running around, or rather frozen in the air as they run. Some people are cowering and screaming. You see like somebody trying to pull a man through one of the windows across the way as the building goes up in flames. And then you can see multiple robed figures, hoods up, blasting magic into the buildings and at the people. On the front of their long red and black robes is a symbol. Looks sort of like a compass with 4 arrows up and down, left and right. In the center is a small circle with an X on it. Could you get that paper behind you? There's a paper with some...
Yes,
I think it's
I
that
found
one.
it.
Upper left-hand side? I drew it.
That one.
Upper left-hand side?
Oh, upper left hand?
That's the symbol.
Oh, it's the same one as the one. Okay, never mind. It's just half a finger.
Do I recognize that symbol?
Make a religion check.
Well, not today. You're already out.
I mean, you have never seen it before. You really were a devoted acolyte of Pelor, and that's mostly what you focused on, but you now know it. Standing in the center of the people, so there's like, I would say 10 of these robed figures all blasting magic. You can see the flames like jetting from their hands, but they are frozen. It's a very interesting sight. In the center, standing in the middle, is a tall and thin man, short brown hair, completely clean shaven, wearing the same robe, but his hood is down, and he's holding a familiar looking stone in his right hand. This one is bright red, though. A burst of flame is coming from the stone, aiming at the house to his left. You hear Wee Jas's voice again. When I tell you everything is connected, I want you to know that I truly do mean it. Everything that's happening is happening for a reason, and it concerns me, and it concerns many other gods. You know something's coming. But when it will happen is what we're trying to narrow down. Keep those stones you have safe. Don't let them fall into the wrong hands. And do make your way back to Scorch Pass when you can. There is someone you have to see. I believe they can help us all understand what's going on. Anyway, carry on with your journey. I will speak to you again soon. And as you see all this happen and you hear that voice, you wake up again in the forest as the morning sun goes into this little pocket dimension. The sun is hitting you. Maybe. Where did you sleep?
I think we slept in the dining room. Everybody else took
Right,
the bedroom,
'cause you
so
were-
me
you
and
were
Charlotte
helping
was
Nala.
chilling.
Okay. So there's sunlight coming in through the doorway and the front windows, and it seems like a pleasant day here in the Arloso family home.
Well, ain't that the berries?
As you all also come to consciousness, here, now, back in the Arloso family home, you have 3 days more of travel to get back to Arkala, which is your destination, but you are currently in a pocket dimension in a house.
Yeah. I mean, if we could,
So I know the wine is still there. Is the keg that we tapped still tapped from before?
Yes.
I'm gonna have a glass of wine.
Breakfast wine.
I was about to say.
I look over. I'm like,
It's like having the berries.
So you all see, you're all like groggily waking up. Some of you are like making it out of like Lorella's room or whatever, coming down from the parents' room.
I was in the
And
library.
Kieran like wakes up and goes, "Ugh," and just heads directly to the basement. Comes up with like a glass.
I look at Karen. Rough night.
It's fine.
I get if you're fine and having morning wine. Happy Sunday.
It's a day of rest.
We're brunching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Berries. It's like a blueberry pancake.
Although we have a kitchen that's not stocked with any
Not
provisions,
stocked with any
nothing like
food.
that. Yeah.
She just
So,
cleaned it up
Yeah.
and removed the rubble that was blocking the way.
If we leave food here, do you think it'll go bad? Like, does
Depends
time
how long
affect?
we're gone.
Well, no, but does time affect the house because it's in a pocket dimension?
Right.
So if we leave food, if time doesn't actually happen,
We could leave some.
You know
food
for a
this
fact
time.
that, based on what Lorella said and stuff,
Uh-huh.
months would pass before he would get back.
oh, okay, gotcha.
So,
okay, so food. So
It does seem
leaving
like time
food doesn't
exists
seem
in
like
this
a
pocket
bad-
dimension, and it matches whatever's going on
Okay.
outside, because you do see the sun coming up and going down.
So we need to buy some beans.
Yes,
Yeah.
some
Some
rice
dried
beans.
Cans of beans.
Beans and rice.
Beans and rice.
Get some meat.
grits.
Just dry it out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Grits and
I'll
jerky.
just cook up a day's rations. I'll grab one of my ration packs and just cook up breakfast.
Okay, you cook up the dried meat in some oil and stuff. It makes it a little nicer, tastier, easier to eat. The smell wafts upstairs.
I mean, I suppose we should head out. Although I don't exactly remember how we got out the first time.
Crystal ball, I think, was what we did.
I just remember that
Didn't we
zapping
just
us.
follow the lane?
Hmm?
Like the path? Didn't we just follow the path back out?
Make an intelligence check.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Oh,
She's not very smart today.
You remember
It's
that?
early.
That's alright. You're like groggy. Even though it was you who did it, Kieran was like, you touched the ball.
Yeah, it's the crystal
and that was
ball.
literally how
the ball.
I
But
thought it just zapped us.
last time, as you all remember, or at least Kieran does, the ball was glowing before you touched it last time. So you don't know if it'll work or what's going on.
Or how to like wake it up.
While we're eating dinner, can I borrow your journal?
Yeah, I'll give you both the journal and the teleportation tome. That's what I've been using.
Can I skim it for anything?
You learned a bit of the Old English. Make a or Old Common. Sorry. Make an intelligence check again.
21.
All right.
Okay,
So
you're the dice. today.
yeah. So you find what you can't really make it out. You're gonna have to spend some time with it, but you find some semblance of like a page break, basically. Right after this page, it goes into way more arcane stuff. Like each page subsequent to that one is like all these arcane sigils and language that you barely can even tell is a language. He seems to have, after this section, this page that you found, get a little more manic about figuring out how to work the house. But this page seems promising. That's what I can give you skimming it.
Can I read that thing?
It would take a few hours, but you can give it a go. And if Nala wants to help you, it's possible.
We've got some time because it's not like we have.
I would help her.
Anyone else doing anything?
I would like to go into the room with the crystal ball and like look at to see if I can't figure out head or tail of the
Okay.
pedestal thing.
You trained in Arcana? Well, you're an Arcana mage.
Yeah.
Just do it. Yeah. So roll an Arcana check, and both of you or one of you roll with advantage and intelligence check.
You get on.
That is a 12.
Okay. So you look at the table, and you're like, "Damn, this is magical."
Yeah.
And you sort of like put your ear to it. You touch it, and when you touch the crystal ball, it lights up a little bit when you touch it.
19.
19? That's good enough. So you find on this page, and you and Nala work it out. This takes a few hours, though, of you like working out specifically this page you found. This page basically says, I've finally done it. I have finally found out how to get back to my house. It drained me to no end, but I made it back.
Great.
I will have to refine this for later, but this is a way to find my family again. And then afterwards is like a spell thing that you understand, as both of you are Arcana people. And if you both want to add the feat, Arloso Family Home Summoning, I think is what it's called.
Cool!
How do you...
If you go to Features and Traits, scroll all the way down to the bottom, Manage Feats, look up Arloso Family, whatever, it'll give you the spell.
Oh, goodness.
Is
The
that
fourth level
something that
It's a
they
fourth
could
level.
also teach me?
You also can do it. Actually, Qren,
Oh.
technically you can't add it, because you're not actually an Arcana mage, you just happen to know a lot about it.
So
I can't
like...
get it.
So Lilia and Nala are the
Okay.
ones who can do it.
So I like creep over after failing to like make anything happen with the
Holy
pedestal.
shit! 400 gold worth of rubies?
400 gold
Wow.
rubies. And if you fail an intelligence
We
saving
gotta rob a
throw,
bank.
So what it is you can do it. You have to have an out. It can't be done in a city. You have to have 100 feet wide that you can summon it into, because you summoned the whole portal that you guys have seen. And it costs 400 gold pieces worth of rubies, which the spell consumes. And you have to make an intelligence saving throw. If you succeed, you get two levels of exhaustion. If you fail, you get 4.
So this is not the
We do this daily to
ideal
bed down.
way to use...
No, if you do it daily, that would be bad, because you only get rid of 1 point of exhaustion every long rest. So when he says it drains you something terrible, the first version he figured out of this spell drains you something terrible.
So I'm going to be reading the rest of that book.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, I think
We'll have
all
time.
reading it.
We'll have time.
You got the picture that Lorella, as Lorella explained, that eventually he figured out how to work it way more easily.
Yeah.
But like when he was first figuring it out, he basically made this big magical house, but he didn't know what he was doing, and then he had to figure out how to work.
Awesome.
So, quick question, because I've never had anything that I actually have to, like, I don't have consumables with the kind of magic that I have.
Right.
So, would I still also need the 400?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
everybody would need that.
Any spell that requires components that cost money, then you need
Then
to
you
buy
this.
that.
Okay, gotcha.
Everything else is component bags, which or arcane
Wow.
focuses.
Boy, howdy. That is a hell of a thing.
And you get the feeling after that, after working with it, what the future pages entail is you are not quite at the level of magic yet to do it.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so complicated.
Well, so I like poked at the crystal ball and it lit up a little bit. I don't know what happens if more people touch it.
Can
or
I take a look?
Sure.
please?
Roll an Arcana.
An X. 29.
Jesus. All your rolls have been
Plus
above
8
Wow.
for my...
well, you look at it,
so
and it
wasn't a
seems
great
to,
roll.
after studying the symbols around it, it seems to have a way of just landing it.
Great.
Like all the stuff that you learned, the crystal ball lit up somehow before, and it allowed you to move 2 days into your travels. All that's really complicated in the sigils on the thing. You can see where it might be, but what you notice is just the basic use of this crystal ball is somebody puts their hand on it, and you go back where you were.
Where we were.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can't like put your hand on the crystal ball and then wish you were 2 days ahead in your journeys.
You don't know exactly
Not
why
yet.
that happened last time,
Yeah.
though you can guess.
Can we ask the child if...
Well, she
I-
probably
she-
won't know that much.
I said when
this
I
was her
talked
dad's thing.
when I talked to her yesterday about anything to know with the house, she had no idea with what her dad was doing. She was busy working with Yaren and his gifts rather than the house.
I'm looking around for any ethereal child.
Yeah. Although we should probably
Make
let
a
her
perception
know
check.
we're on our way out.
13.
Nope.
Nope.
Nailed it.
Alright, we out.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we
I'm
should.
head
Well,
out.
I
Alright.
kind of call out like, Lorella, we're going to leave, but thank you so much for your hospitality.
Make a perception check.
Please
Just
don't
in
fail me. Oh, jeez.
Nailed it.
7.
Going well for Lilia today. You don't hear anything in response.
Okay.
Alright.
I think it's
She's doing painting
this
stuff.
die is angry at me because I
So-
haven't been using it the last couple of weeks.
Quick and check. Yeah, I got this. I got the book.
Okay, what do you guys do?
Two spell books.
I guess we're
So
heading out.
I put my hand.
So Qren, as you reach out and you touch the crystal ball, it lights up and it's like this weird blinding flash for a second, and then it goes inert again, and you can see now out the window the forest ends after a little while back to the path that you were on.
Cool.
Great. Even better.
Alright, everyone make sure you got everything before we leave.
Yep.
Lord knows when
Friends.
more lost knows when we come back to this place.
Let's go, Daisy.
Daisy comes up to you guys, sort of rubs all of you,
Little
My
bit of
friend.
rations,
through,
little rations
We get to
for
set
the cougar.
takes the rations.
Hello, Daisy. Daisy
I heard
substitute.
you have a cat. Oh my god, guys.
Yes, Lamar is playing Daisy tonight.
When Lamar is on the field, all Daisy checks her have advantage. No.
All right, so you guys are heading out then?
Yes.
Great. So you take a look as you leave back at this house, and you're like, well, we'll come back eventually. And you look at the painting that Shar did on the plaque that says Bonira Home. And you make your way out. And as soon as you pass the threshold, you're back in. It like shifts, and you feel that weird shift in your brain. And then you sort of blink out of it, and you're back where you were with no sign of the house anymore.
Gotcha.
Neat.
Yeah. Right.
Alright,
Press on.
yeah, on we go. We gotta.
Onwards.
All right, so somebody for this day make a perception check. and
Shar
somebody
will
make
do
a survival.
Perception.
I can do survival.
Okay.
15 plus 7. 23.
15 plus 7 is 22.
22, sorry. I do math bad.
15.
Yeah. 15 for survival?
Yeah.
Okay, you've got your map anyway, so that's easy. You're basically
yeah.
following along. You'd have to really suck to not follow a map. And Shar is keeping an eye out with her keen elf eyes out front. And you all make it. Since you left a little late, you're gonna bed down later. I'm not gonna make you roll extra days. But this day is peaceful. You peacefully make it. It goes back up into the mountains a bit from the sort of plainsy area, and you keep following the mountains on the path that you went on before. But eventually you find a place to bed down for the night. So as you set up camp and light a fire, somebody make a perception check for the group.
I'll do it.
I said my die. It's not happening.
Squint squad.
14.
Okay, 14. So as you all sleep, when you're looking around, You notice specifically that it's getting pretty chilly at these nights. It was getting bad. It was especially bad when you were up near Mirefall because you were up a higher altitude and it was getting into the mountains. Now it just feels like it's autumn temperatures. And it has been autumn temperatures for a while, but it's getting to like 38 in the night. So you do your best to like keep the fire going so that everybody doesn't freeze to death. Lilia's like cuddling Daisy.
I also prestidigitized my clothing again.
Oh, right, yes, because you make it all warm.
I like make my own electric blanket.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my ninja suit under my outfit.
Sure, so you've got Under Armour.
Double
Long underwear. Yeah.
But this night seems to pass smoothly. So you all wake up here in the mountains again. But you know that you now have a couple more days till you get back to Arkala. You know that eventually, soon, probably today, you'll see in the distance the ocean that you had passed originally. But you continue on your way. One more survival.
Perception on Char again.
Yep, please.
That is.
I'll do survival, I guess.
9
Okay. For what?
for perception.
Okay.
Ooh, 8.
8. Okay.
A tough one. Tough day.
So you guys have a little bit more difficulty
Right.
following the path. Qren's map got a little smudged on the way, and Qren does
Can I fix it
his
while we're
best
going?
to fix it. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
This is when
And
we
as
were
you
fighting.
go, you make your way back up. You seem to get turned around as it gets weirdly foggy in the morning. And then you find yourself back in the mountains and go
Weirdly
fuck
foggy.
and turn around. And it's not the same type of fog as it was before. And you make your way down though, back out of the mountains, and it takes a long while before you hear this, even though you should have heard it way earlier. But you start hearing sounds of fighting and yelling all in front of you as Shar understands it, and you understand a few words. As there seem to be orc-type people screaming in the distance, and the fog is sort of clearing out, and you can see people fighting, and especially one of them sort of running around as opposed to this whole group.
I'd rather not.
And you are now about 100 feet from this battle as it rages.
Okay.
And you hear, ah! And you hear, oh, this one's different from the others. Or that's what Shar tells you is what's said.
Yeah.
And
Does it?
you don't belong
I
here.
happen to say,
Is what you hear.
where's the bathroom?
No,
She's got that.
no.
Reading is hard.
But where is a sort of semi-conjugation of here in orc, so you sort of understand that.
Okay.
And it does it look like there are people in trouble?
It looks like there is a group ganging up on a single person.
Oh, but it's
goodness.
not just orcs and orcs. It's like orcs
It's
and
orcs.
other people that aren't orcs. Oh.
It's one orc that you see, and seems to be ganged up on by a few orcs and 2 ogres who you can now see as you get closer and you sort of try and hide. And they all sort of eventually. Here. He didn't see it. He did. The leader, he's got more adornments and this big helmet that he seems to have made out of bone and other bone armor. You know the guys in Skyrim that you get way over to the west?
Yeah.
That's basically what they look like. The
Yeah,
Force
sure,
One.
sure.
Yeah. This guy only looks like that, and he's holding the long sword out and go at the one who's sort of trying to duck around. And one of the other orcs looks over at your group and goes, Arskandaleka! And Shar turns back and says, we've got, I think they found us.
Are they humanoid?
They are humanoid.
Fuck yeah, or I'm gonna cast some calm emotions.
Yay!
How far away are they?
Now, as they start running towards you, 50 feet, but now the whole group has noticed you.
Cool. So I would like to cast calm emotions.
It's only the 2 of them that have are charging towards you, and 1 ogre, and then there's more of them in the distance who are following you. So if you want to cast calm emotions on them, that's fine. But then we're getting into a battle.
Okay. Cool. God damn it.
It's not really a battle spell, calm
Yeah.
No, that's why I'm like, I wanted to like cast it before we entered a battle to see if the battle could have been avoided.
The problem is the battle's already going on in
Okay,
front of
right.
you.
Yeah.
There's already some high emotion.
There's
Yeah.
all like some majorly high emotions, and there's blood been spilt. Take 2 points of damage from me.
Sorry, say again.
Well, that answers the question.
Just
Of
take-
which is how
Yeah.
injured does everyone look? But
The orc that they seem focused on seems slightly wounded, but doing a good job of staying away from them, and looks just more angry than anything.
Cool.
And the other ones have nicks, but they're fine.
I mean, I suppose never mind. I just won't cast anything.
Just on a perception question.
Yeah, sorry. It's just like calm emotions is really difficult to use in a when it's like battle is happening, because the way that it's done is if any of their allies ever get hit in the next 20 seconds, it's like screwed.
Right, but it's also like if it's calm emotions on the group, but I suppose that's like they all have to, if like one of them succeeds at their saving throw. I was just banking on
They
the
can,
fact
like,
that
snap
since
them
they're
out or
orcs, they don't
something.
have much wisdom.
Yeah, they're not particularly wise.
No.
I mean,
That's sort of what I was banking on.
I will let you surprise cast it on the 3 of them in the front. But whether it will last very long.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm like, it's not going to matter. They're going to see us attacking other people. So
Okay, so
I just had a perception question about, do these orcs have any war paint?
with the perception roll for the group that was rolled, you can't see.
Okay.
So everybody, please roll emotion. Roll emotion for me. Initiative for me, including
Jesus.
our guest. Kirby. Welcome to the game.
wait, is this initiative?
Initiative.
Okay.
Give me 1 second to hold on to those.
Man, my rolls have been hot garbage
You want
today.
it
Okay.
20?
Honestly, yeah.
Bad for Shar,
blue and
okay
a
for
purple.
Nala.
Just hold on to those for a second.
Okay.
Ooh, it's pretty.
I can give you my rainbow one.
Nah, I kept this one for now. We'll see. This one's just been really rude to me.
2 ogres and a group of orcs. My. The hell of a party for you to go one-on-one with.
It is, isn't it?
All right. Shar.
Shar is 6.
Okay. Nala.
Nala's 15.
Okay. Anuka.
Anuka, 21.
21.
Oh, yeah. That's...
Already in the heat of battle.
Nice.
Yeah, so that makes story sense. Qren.
12.
12.
Okay.
We out here.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Lily?
11.
first.
11.
Bad choice.
And Win.
Also 11.
Also 11. Whose
Jeez.
dex is higher?
Let me see what my dex is. I have a 17.
Yeah, yours is higher.
Okay. All right.
We need
So,
to clear the table.
we do need to clear the table.
All right.
Alright.
While we're doing this, can I snag another piece of cake?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Use the rest real quick.
Okay.
Here.
All right.
This is the path we were coming down.
Yes, so you guys are back there coming down the path out of the mountains proper.
Where would you like?
Those black ones, those black weird shaped ones are big rocks. The circular things are trees. And the Werewolf King and the other sort of ogre-looking dude from Warcraft is an ogre, and all the others are orcs. This is the special orc, the one with all the skulls.
Cool.
The seeming leader orc. So as we begin this big fight thing, do I remember how to run a fight? It's been so long.
7 bogeys.
All right.
Let me take a photo for Emily.
Sure.
Let her know.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't,
Shit's about to go.
I didn't mention Emily is off today. She had a thing that she could not get out of, so that is why Shar is not here today. Everybody listening. But Jason or Nala is picking up and playing her in this battle. All right.
No pressure.
So as we begin,
Don't kill
Anuka,
it.
Have fun toggling.
it's your go.
Alright. So,
You've got an orc who seems to be looking at you, and the orc leader is looking at you, shouting insults.
alright. So, Anuka is going to run
towards the one to my left.
All right. And get it melee.
30 feet of movement.
30. That's about as close as you can get, unfortunately. Sorry, I placed you so far away. It's my fault as the DM, but that's where you're at.
Okay.
Within 15 feet of that orc, who looks at you and which says, "Screw you, Outlander," basically.
I don't know any of those words.
No, you don't.
Sean, what's he saying?
That's fine.
You're doing your best. Half of you understands it.
Where is the bathroom?
Like, where is the bathroom is a battle cry.
Yeah. That's good.
Reading is hard.
All right, what you doing?
In Orcish, I'm going to say, "You're as ugly as I remember them," and I cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay,
Nice!
Hunter's Mark. We actually have things for this now.
You know, I'm like, it's interesting when we play this, because I like think of Cameron's Facebook statuses, and I'm like, that's what they meant.
What do you mean?
Like the one about like, you know, when the Dungeon Master's guide says like, these people are only evil ever, and I'm like, no, I get it now.
Yeah. I think that's nonsense. So he is Hunter's marked.
Hooray.
Ooga booga.
And
You now have the extra d6 if you hit him, right? Something like that?
Yes. And that will end my turn.
Okay, you do have an action still, if you want, because Hunter's Mark is a bonus action, but you can only cast a cantrip if you're doing a spell.
That will be my turn.
Alright, so you stop. So you all watch as this female orc runs up, shouts something in Orcish, and then sort of waggles her fingers in the direction as she swings this huge flail around, and the orc seems to have this sort of orangish magic go around it behind that tree. Cool. All right, next is the big orc, which is this dude. What can he do?
Whatever his heart tells him.
Hopefully, not much.
All right, so he's going to go and growl, and then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he can use a bonus action to move towards, because he has aggressive. He can use a bonus action to move towards an enemy.
Neat.
Like a legendary action?
It's not. It's just the aggressive trait for orcs. Certain orcs. Nope, all orcs. And it's going to take 2 melee attacks with its longsword at Anuka, at this other orc that you guys see. That's a 9, 14.
Does not hit.
And a natural 17 plus 5. That probably hits.
That's
All right. And so as he swings, you dodge the first one, and the second one just cuts across your stomach. You get 10 damage as it swings with both hands, and then you feel like it weirdly like sinks in farther as it rips across your stomach, and you also get an extra 11 points of damage as for some reason she's able to, or this orc is able to stab a little further in. She rakes across. Yeah, she's a woman now. As she rakes across your chest there. You're not in a great position over there. But that's all right. Look, it's a party of people. So that's his go. Now it's the ogre's go. They rolled really good initiative.
Perhaps this party of people will have a...
What's the ogre's movement?
Man, you are far away.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is you're in the woods. Movement of 40 feet for an ogre.
Oh my.
First, this guy's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40. So this ogre just charges past his two friends and roars at you.
Cute.
And this other one's going to do the same. 40. Charging through the woods at you guys.
Super cute.
And that's all they can do. Actually, the one at the front is going to javelin Nala.
Oh shit.
Takes out a javelin off its back and just chucks it. 19?
Shield.
Okay. So as the ogre charges forward and whips this javelin, you just blast your arcane shield and it ricochets off and embeds itself in the cliff side there.
Man, I need
The
one
other
of those.
one, how far can they go? 30 or 120? It's going to give it a go. It's going to try and hit wind from like around the rock with disadvantage because it's too far away. Natural one. So it just throws it and it just clangs off the rock and does nothing, falls to the side pointlessly. My music changed. There.
Things just got serious.
Yes.
Hey,
It is now Nala's go.
Okay.
You've got this ogre charging up towards you.
what you gonna do?
Firebolt everything.
Ooh.
We did change the rule though, so you can't just.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
Now you can only do it 4 times instead of
Sure.
8.
Would be nice, though.
I will.
I'm the only one that hasn't hit 40 HP yet, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
I believe so.
Go team. We're
I'm
doing great.
at 41, so.
I'm so proud of you.
So Nala will.
That milestone.
I'm a 10.
I'm a
Wind's
slow
like
learner.
never gonna die.
Nope.
Fireball.
I'm a little man.
I've knocked you out once.
Once.
Can you give me the diameter of...
It's on top of the bookshelf in a plastic bag.
Okay. Sorry.
You trying to fireball him?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Sure.
Can you help me pick which one's the 20 radius one?
That one is.
This one?
The big one is. Yeah, it's a fireball.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can hit those threes.
Yeah, I'll hit these 3.
Okay.
With,
So that's the back ogre and the 2 orcs who had seen you first.
The back
And this
ogre.
is going to be... I'm tapping
Those
2 to
my
make a
nickname in
quicken
high school.
spell. It's fireball once, then I'm going to blade ward myself.
Sure. Okay. So what you do, Nala just looks at this, shields away the javelin, and then like snaps her fingers, and then out of her claw comes this bead of red light that whips around the ogre who had charged up to her, and this huge explosion of fire just rockets the 3 in the back there. So it's a dexterity save, right?
Of 15.
15. Does not succeed. Does not succeed, and the ogre is not particularly dexterous. Does not succeed. None of them succeed, so please roll damage for me, however many d6s that explosion is.
8d6. Goodness gracious.
5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh my god.
Did you cast it at 4th level?
28.
I casted it at 3rd level,
Third level.
but still 8d.
Still 8d6. Fucking fireball, man.
Yeah.
Total?
34, yeah.
34.
Okay, 34, 38 with my elemental affinity.
Okay,
On the ogre is what I'll put the elemental affinity onto.
Let me read that wording again. Because I don't think you can use elemental affinity if it targets more than one person. But I may be wrong. Let me just check it. To one
When you cast
roll
a
of that
spell.
spell.
Yeah,
It's
just one.
it's just for all of them.
Wow.
What?
That's crazy.
Wait, so every single one of them would have that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
If you cast a spell that deals damage to the type associated with the draconic dentistry, you can add your charisma modifier to the damage roll of that spell.
1 damage roll, so I guess that does pertain to 1 damage roll over across the thing. Cool.
All right,
so 38. all around.
So as Nala just fires off this fireball, and it explodes and lights the tree next to them completely on fire. Luckily, it's not a dense forest. It's not like Minecraft when you pour lava everywhere.
No, I
but
learned from
this-
last time I have a water spell now.
Yeah. So this explosion rocks them, and the 2 orcs in front of you just completely immolate and like fall to the ground, dead. But the ogre like, it says.
What?
Playboard.
It says it in giant. I don't think anyone speaks giant.
Oh,
So it yells at you angrily in a language you don't understand, but it's still
Yeah,
standing.
you're up yours too, buddy.
I'll just move 5 feet forward, and that's it.
Okay, so you like step forward and
Yeah,
sort
I
of
feel
face
very
off,
good.
face off against
Come
this
at me,
other
bro.
ogre. All right, Nala, that's your go?
That is my go.
Right, because you cast Blade Ward.
Yeah.
Is that a cantrip?
It is a cantrip, so
Okay.
that's why I want to make sure.
How long does that last? Just as...
Till the end of my next turn.
Okay, sweet. Right, because it's cantrip. All right, Qren. Yeah.
Aww. Okay, I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on that guy,
Okay.
which is a cantrip.
Yes, it is. Qren sees all this happening, and the javelins sort of fling off, and she focuses, or he focuses his hands out towards them, and this bell goes bong and rockets off, and you can almost see the sound waves reverberating through the air as it hits this ogre. Is it a range attack or a save?
It's a dex save. Nope,
Dex.
that one's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Full of lies.
Natural 18 though, so 16. Does it succeed?
Yeah, it's
All right, so the sound waves rock around it, but it just sort of looks confused and sort of uses its rage to just roar through it.
Alright, well, as my bonus action,
Yes.
I'm going to call my boy.
Yeah.
Little
So
boy.
Qren
I'd like to call my
casts
little boy.
Here it comes.
holding the symbol of Wee Jas around his neck. The air around the ogre creates Chompy a skull with eyelashes, and it floats there in front of the ogre, going.
Living his best life.
Yes.
He is. He's so
Chompy
valid.
is good, and it can make an attack when you summon it.
And he sure will. He's gonna attack that ogre.
Okay, make an attack roll. That hits easily. Roll for damage as Chompy just takes a chunk out of like the ogre's forehead.
It's a
When
meaty
I pulled
forehead.
all of my dice out, I let my...
Did you roll for Daisy?
What?
Did you roll for Daisy?
Yeah, roll initiative
Where's
for Daisy
Daisy?
for me.
Yeah,
She's in the back,
there.
but you
How
can't
does she have better initiative than I
you
have?
can't control her right now.
Do you
She's just
have
there.
16.
Roll to use the bear.
the bear?
Yeah, bear.
Daisy got a 16.
Okay. So for her turn, which would have happened earlier, she just sort of cowers
Okay, great.
Oh, baby.
She's a coward.
That's okay.
and goes at them.
Good. Good
How much
girl.
damage was that?
12.
12 damage. As Chompy takes a chunk out of this ogre's forehead, the ogre sort of bats it away with this big club. All right. Lilia.
All right. I would like to. Let's see. What do I actually want to do?
So you know this. Ogres are not humanoid.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
giants.
But I can still, I believe. Yes, I can. On.
How far away am I?
Quite
Yeah.
at the moment.
So I can hit this guy. How's this guy looking?
He's looking fine.
He's
He
looking
got
fine.
he got he's bleeding from his face from the bite that Chompy took out, but that's it.
Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
All right, so Lilia sort of sneaks up back behind and just makes that, and that goes to the air, and you see the ogre sort of hold his head. Is that a ranged attack, or is it a save?
It is a save.
What kind of save?
Wisdom.
Wisdom save on the ogre. Natural 3. Minus 2. A 1. So as the ogre holds its head and roll for damage.
Great. It's 4d6. So 2, 8, 9, 13.
13 points of damage as it seems to get racked by some incredible pain. And like bats it away and bonks himself on his head to like snap out of it, and then turns back to the group. All right. Anything else, Lillian?
You know what? I'm just gonna take a little hike over this way.
Okay.
Cute.
Yes. Just runs along the cliff edge there. It's Daisy.
That's Daisy.
Daisy is a bear, right?
Beautiful.
Win.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna run up to this guy.
I think you can make it. Yeah, because he's large, so you
Yeah.
can get in his melee.
And I
Use a large
would have
one.
used my bonus action there to light up Darkheart.
Sure. Bonus action. Make a perception check for me, Anuka. Just out of curiosity.
See that from a mile away.
4.
Okay, so you're really focused on the fact that this huge chunk of your chest was just taken out of you, and you don't notice, you barely notice that there are others joining the battle, but so you're pretty focused on this shit situation.
And I'm going to attack
You
twice.
might have heard it.
Attack the ogre twice with Dark Heart.
Okay, you can't do that.
Can't?
Well, you can. So you've got an offhand weapon.
Yeah.
Remember, it's 1, 2, and then twice with Dark Heart. You get 3 hits. One of them isn't with Dark Heart.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm going to use Dark Heart for both attacks.
Right, you're not using your offhand weapon then?
I
Oh, because it's bonus action.
Right.
You're right.
Yes.
So yes, so you just slash him twice with this darkened sword.
Okay. 19 for that.
That hits.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Wow.
So you're just, wind rushes up, lights up this sword, and just slashes into this ogre.
Sweet.
With the added necrotic bonus.
Yay.
From Darkheart. So roll for damage.
Okay. 8 and 5.
Multiply dice damage on the second roll.
Right. Okay. So 8 for the first one and 10 for the second.
But don't include your modifier in the
Right.
multiple.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you just multiply the dice, and then you add your modifier for the
Yes.
damage.
Yes.
So it's 8, and what's the second one? What are on the dice? I can't read them.
1 and 4
So 10 plus
10.
your modifier.
plus, so it's 15.
15.
Yeah.
And 8 plus 15. So
Yeah.
whatever that number is. 24? 23?
23.
23.
Yay!
Nice. So you just carve into this, like, bits of its, like, entrails are falling out now.
Gross!
And it's, like, just roaring, angry, more angry than, like,
Yeah.
in pain. It seems to just be able to, like, work through it. Ogres are not wise individuals. That's your go.
Yes.
Shar's go.
Alright. Shar will use her movement 5, 10, 15 to get behind this rock
Sort of behind.
right here. Would they be able to see this ogre from behind that
Sure,
rock?
she can
Would it
see,
be-
yeah, she can poke her head out.
And she will
Ducks into this, like, weird alcove of, like, a fallen rock in the cliffside, and thunk.
she will then shoot an arrow at this ogre.
Alright, roll an attack for Shar's longbow.
So that's 14 plus 6 is 20.
Easily hits, yep.
Alright.
And you get sneak
and
attack.
sneak attack, that's what
Yep,
it is.
because Win is engaged.
So 1d8.
You're engaged.
Yay!
But that's not 8.
He's real time.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 total.
Alright. So as Shar ducks into this little alcove and just, like, sharpshooters it, from behind it, that arrow goes thunk, and, like, embeds itself in the ogre's eye and goes back into its brain, and it
Gross.
freaks out and then and falls to the ground.
Oh, Dunzo.
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 Dunzo Washington.
Well done, Shar. And
Not every battle is terribly harrowing.
she will
I know I've thrown a lot of harrowing battles at you guys. But...
bonus action hide.
Okay, bonus action hide, roll for stealth.
That is plus 9. Oh, 5 plus 9.
14.
14.
Okay. She gets back, but she feels hidden.
Okay.
Whether she is or not is, you know.
Up to the others.
All right, that's Shar's go. Now it's the orcs who rolled a damn 3 on there.
Ha!
Nice.
This one turns to you. I'll remember your name eventually.
Anuka.
Anuka, and charges up to you, annoyed at the hunter's mark. This one looks over at the carnage over there and goes, and charges to join its
sees
friends
the
over here.
fireball.
Anuka is now getting surrounded pretty quickly.
Shit!
The orc that came up to you, Anuka, is going to take a swipe with the great axe. 16 plus 5, 21.
That hits.
And that's 9 points of damage as it sort of slashes in front. You try to duck out of the way, but it cuts down where your shoulder is right in front of you. So that's the orc's go, because you killed the other 2. It is back to Anuka's turn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
I'm going to take my flail. I'm going to swing it. I'm going to make two attacks towards the ones that I hunters marked.
Okay.
Okay, so that is...
So you swing your flail, hoping to hit.
That is 13.
13 misses. So as you swing it, it ducks out of the way, and you can make your second attack if you want.
That is 22 to
That
hit.
easily hits. Roll for
so
damage.
One.
You are also a paladin and hunter's mark. So remember, you have smite if you want it. As a paladin.
Wait, smite or spite?
Both. Squad.
Sorry, it just comes out of me.
So that's 14 for just the regular hit, and then with Hunter's Mark.
1d6, I think. For hunter's mark?
With Hunter's Mark,
Unless you cast it at a higher level. I think it's just 1d6 for now.
That makes it 6. So that is 20 points of damage.
20 points of damage. So as you take your flail, you miss with the first one, then you come around back and you just smash it into the orc's head, and it just completely caves in as it falls to the ground.
Love it.
Wow. Great.
Oh, he's dead.
He did.
You know,
He
not
very dead. Any bonus actions you want to take?
Anyone
Bonus
else who
action,
wants to
I want to move the Hunter's Mark towards the imbecile to my right.
Sure. Big dude is now hunter's marked. And it again, that weird energy seems to go around it, and he sort of looks angrily at you and brandishes his longsword again. I think that's all you can do. Because you used all
So
your
move.
bonus actions.
Yeah, that's it.
You
Yep.
only got movement, yeah,
Yep.
and that would be dangerous.
Yep. I will finish my go.
Okay. So, it is the big orc's turn again. He gets angry, and he's just gonna take those multi-attacks at you. I introduce a guest and then just immediately wail on him.
Only there was someone that could keep people
Yay
from death.
me. Yay me.
9 for the first one. Both hands completely misses wide. You just leap out of the way and try to bash it with your flail. You're very dexterous with that flail. And then 19 for the second.
Yeah, that hits.
Yep.
Hey, orcs, stop rolling well. We want this person to stick around.
19 points of damage as that longsword just
Ouch.
bites into you. This thing seems to have just an extra affinity with the longsword, super able to guide it into painful areas.
In 6 turns when I can get over there. I'd love to help out.
So fine. Perfectly fine.
All right, that's its move though. So it's just angrily just slashing into this other orc, and he says, "How dare you kill one of your kind?" Sort of thing. Which is weird because you were like, "But I'm an outlander, right?" But it's now trying to play the "You're an orc too" card. The ogre's turn.
My
Fee,
how the
fi,
turns
fo,
have
fo.
tabled.
How the turntables.
The one that's injured as well, right?
Shit.
35, 40.
Okay.
So the orc can get over to you. It literally just walks over and smashes the dead orc into the ground as it steps on it. Blood spurts out all around its
I love that for us.
disgusting
Right.
body, and it charges directly over to Win, and is going to take a great club hit at you.
How incredible.
Natural 19 plus
That
6.
That hits.
And that is 2d8 plus 4. 11 points of damage as it smashes into your half plate. It sort of feels like the padding inside sort of protects you, but it deals some damage.
Ouch.
The other ogre's
Good
dead.
thing I'm a freaking tank now.
Nala.
Okay.
Same. All 35
Clearly.
points of me. A real tank.
55.
No, I'm winning.
Nala will.
I protect you.
5, 10, 15, 20. Move there. And she will tap her Scorcher.
Okay.
As she
wants to.
does. Yeah. She's going to cast Scorching Ray at 3rd level.
Nice.
So that's
4
4
rays.
shots.
Okay.
Let me get the old notebook out. Make sure I hit these.
This is only 4. Okay, Scorching Ray, 4th level, spell attacks for each ray.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, go ahead.
All right. Number
And
1.
you're firing into that the last ogre?
Yeah, the last ogre. 7, 12 for the first
hits,
one.
yep.
It hits.
They're big dudes.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a natural 1, so that misses.
Misses. That one fires off like a firework.
11
Hits, just barely. Cool. That's their overcount.
Cool.
and 9, so 2 hit.
Alright, so 4 rays fire out of Nala's 4 fingertips. 2 of them fizzle out. One of them goes up in the sky like a flare, and the other 2 blast into this ogre. Drop my pen. Alright.
2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of fire damage.
13 points of fire damage as those 2 blast into him. He's not looking great, this one. And is just angry like the other one. Self-preservation seems to not be high on ogres' minds.
For my bonus action, I'm going to...
No, that's the thing.
I'm going to use 5... Wait, I don't even know if I have 5 left. Sorry,
You
sorcery
used
points.
3 so far.
2, just for a quicken spell.
Plus whatever you... Oh, right, 2. So you use 2.
How many do I have left?
You should have 1 for every level, so you've got 5 left.
I'm going to tap the remainder of those 5 to bring back a level 3 spell slot.
What ability is that?
That's the standard meta magicking, where you use a bonus action to spend sorcery points to regain a slot. And the...
I can't find that in your thing. I'm not saying... you're
Flexible
not.
casting.
Flexible casting. Huh. I don't see that anywhere in your list.
Let me see. You have 7 for you gain when you first. You can use your sorcery points to gain additional spell slots or sacrifice them. So it's basically what they are. I can use a spell action, but for the thing that sucks is the table to show which amount of sorcery points is in Wikipedia. So I have to pull up Wikipedia.
Oh, it's in the big one if you click sorcery points. I just found it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
is it 5 for
it is
level
5
3?
for level
Okay.
3.
Yeah, so I'm bringing back.
So Nala fires off these shots, and then you see like this weird energy, a flame-like thing, burst around her and then dissipate away.
Cool.
You guys
And
don't
that's
know what
my
it is, but you get a spell slot back.
Sweet.
Cool.
That's a cool move.
Yeah, I can only do it up to 5th spells. I can't do any higher.
Right. And is it once a day or?
Once a day, yeah. Or I think I can do it any turn because first level is like 2, and then second is 3, and then third is 5.
Right. Yeah, just waste all your spell. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
all
a way
right.
to burn through your sorcery
So that's Nala's
points.
go. Qren.
Nobody other than her is injured, correct?
Wayden's got some hits, but not
I'm fine.
not so
Nothing
much.
critical.
Just a little bit of a bonk over the head.
I'm gonna do Toll the Dead again on this friend.
Okay, another bong rockets through the air.
Which is a wisdom.
Wisdom. 15 that time.
If it makes it.
It makes it. Yeah.
Yay.
They've literally got -2 wisdom. He rolled a 19 and a 17 for Toll the Dead. Apparently these bongs are just not doing it.
My cantrip means
nothing.
he's gonna move over here
Okay.
and
Bite at his heel.
Bonus action to move Chompy over and take a bite out of the back of this ogre's neck. Classic Chompy move, as we saw in the dire wolf fight.
11.
Hits just barely.
Nice.
Roll for damage.
8.
Just killed it.
Hell yeah, Chompy.
So Chompy just bites into the back and like tries to whip it back and forth like a dog, and then eventually pulls the ogre down as the life leaves the ogre's eyes. So the ogre is now lying on its back, dead there. Chompy is like MVP a lot. Moving anywhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Now that he's dead.
Just there? Okay.
That's 30, so
Oh, okay.
That's
Big
there.
map. You're right.
Yeah,
It is a
big
big
map.
there I go.
That's a lot.
I'm coming to heal
A lot of
person.
distance between.
Here I come.
All
Still
right.
coming.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh yeah. I'm assuming.
Well, it was technically Daisy a little while ago, but Daisy's just staying there.
Towering. Neat.
And just, actually she comes up behind Lilia and just like yowls at the monsters that are dying.
Yeah, I know. I
Just
hate
sort of
her.
cuddling up next to you. Lilia, go.
Sounds right.
Well, oh god. So
We've got a ways.
Yep.
There's not a whole bunch I can do.
Got sort of a forest.
Yeah, so
Char is a longbow, remember that.
She does have a longbow. Are they 150 feet away? I need it.
A longbow is 300.
120.
600.
I counted 120
Well,
was
600
here.
at disadvantage. 150 is their standard.
But disadvantages, yeah.
So
Okay,
I'm
I
just
counted
curious
this
with
as
the
120.
crossbow. The
So-
thing says range 80 and then parentheses
this would be
320. What does that mean?
Range 80 is the normal range, so you fire that without disadvantage. If you fire above that, then it's at disadvantage. But you can still aim for them and try.
Gotcha. Well,
Lots of dead bodies there.
No, exactly. That's the thing. Is like I don't know what else I can really do. I'm gonna, because orcs are humanoid, right? And that's all that's left.
Yes.
Okay.
They are both of the things that you see are humanoid.
15, 20, 25, 30. This is as far as I can move.
Bonus action dash if you want.
I don't have that.
Oh.
How
About
far?
80 feet away.
It's about 80 feet away? Oh!
80 feet from that orc.
Neato, because that's what I
For
was looking
range
for.
purposes, counting the 5, 10 things obnoxious. So yeah, it's 80
Yeah,
feet
cool.
away.
Awesome. So, I'm going to
Especially
use...
since I'm eyeballing it from 5 feet away.
I'm going to use my crossbow then, because I'd rather do that than use another system.
Okay, so Lilia gets it out and goes, I haven't used this in ages.
My last time I tried to use this, I ended up getting knocked out for an entire battle.
That's true, that did happen. Werewolf came in.
Natural 20.
Natural 20,
Ooh.
disadvantage.
Oh.
It's 80 though. That's my range.
It's 80 is the normal range?
Yeah.
Great, natural 20.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Well, so technically 26, but
Yes.
That's alright, it hits the orc very well.
and I would also like to use psychic blades.
Yes, College of Whispers.
Yes.
So you like whisper something at the arrow and it starts going around it, and then you fire this off from across this forest, and it just embeds itself in the back of the orc.
Neato. Cool. So
Roll for damage.
1d8. That's 1. 8.
Times 2 is 2 plus your modifier plus psychic blades is a what?
So it's 1d8 plus 3, so that's 4, and then I get 3 extra d6 for psychic
Okay,
blades.
so
Wow.
since it's a critical, roll the dice and multiply them by 2, and then add your modifier.
Okay, cool. So that's going to be 2, and then 5, 11, 12, 24, plus 2, 26, 27. Or no, 29.
So
Damn.
Lilia runs
once in her
around
goddamn life.
this rock, does this weird whisper thing, and you all see this. And the orc just falls flat in his face.
Oh, yeah.
This one?
Sweet.
Don't wait to get your
This one or one that's
Yep,
marked?
that one. And just falls forward into the ground. And the big orc looks back and goes,
And Lilia seems surprised that she just did this.
What he said.
Which you don't understand any of. But Shar understands it.
I'm into it.
She might get too far away.
Yeah, she's a little far away.
What?
Could you speak up? All right. Ouch. Okay, that was awesome. Win.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
I'm probably too far for Cossphere, but
What's the range?
60 feet.
Yeah, you're far
Okay.
too far.
5, 10, 15, 12, 30. Okay. But I can cast Firebolt.
Is it a disadvantage? Was the fireball's normal range?
60.
120.
120 is its normal range?
Yes.
Fire.
I got rid of all my 120.
So roll an attack roll.
Snipe that.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. So Wing runs forward and has to shove over all these bodies.
Yeah.
And gets there and tries to fire, and it just like rockets up. And actually swings around and hits the same tree that's been burning. It's like burning even more. It's like this whole bonfire next to you. Yeah, that one. It's all on fire to your, all yours,
It's
right?
about to hit other trees.
It's too far away from most of the trees. This is a pretty sparse forest,
Fuck
but
you,
it is a lot of
nature.
heat you can feel now from that tree.
There aren't, like,
Doing anything
ants
else, Win?
in this world. Man.
What else can I do?
I could. I could do the action surge.
Could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's up to you.
I'll do that.
Okay. Win gets pissed off about this firebolt not working, and you've got another action.
Okay.
At this rate, just wait till the battle.
Yeah, I'll just try again.
What am I doing?
Okay, so another firebolt.
Yeah.
Roll another attack roll.
23.
That hits.
Yay.
So this one, the first one flies off, and Win just goes "Ah!" and fires again.
Okay. And for 11 damage.
11 damage. All right. Where's his health?
There it is.
All right. So Win fires off this bolt from across the sparse forest, and it just blasts into the back of this huge orc holding the longsword. And he's looking a little scared at the moment. Shar's move.
Char will pop out. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
You can walk over bodies.
Okay, I'll walk over the body. And she will take a shot on this ogre.
Yeah, that's going to be
Or the...
5, 10, 15.
Is that over 150?
No. You can hit her. Or
All
him.
right.
Her. It. With the longbow, yeah. That's what's good about longbows.
Alright.
They go long.
They go fucking far.
Fucking
Four.
Go long.
Sorry, pulling up her stuff.
I don't. It's.
Alright.
All right.
That's
Oh.
16 plus 6. 22.
Here, do you want me to put this up on the...
It hits. Yeah.
Okay.
It hits.
Yeah, probably.
See, naturally, yeah.
That is a...
With sneak attack because Anuka is
They're
a
adjacent,
is ally.
Here's my point.
Keep me.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points
14
of arrow
points of
damage.
damage as
that.
Shar runs forward and fires an arrow. All of you just launching all your ranged attacks, and this one embeds itself into the other shoulder of this longsword wielding
Still up.
orc person. Still up. Yep.
Jeez.
Big orc.
For bonus action, can she move further?
She can bonus action dash. to the road.
She'll do her full movement, extra 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
All right, so Shar just runs up and then keeps running. Orcs, they're dead.
Yeah.
Anuka.
Sucks to be you.
So, for my bonus action, I'm going to channel divinity.
Sure. Ooh,
Cool.
you've got cool things.
And I'm going to do Vow of Enmity?
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 I forget what Vow of Enmity does.
It says, as a bonus action, you can use your channel divinity to choose a character within 10 feet and gain advantage on attack rolls against it for 1 minute or until it dies.
All right. You've got Vow of Enmity. I don't have to put a little thing on it. I can remember that. On it, So you channel some divinity, and Qren, make a perception check for me.
Natural one.
Don't see anything. Go ahead.
You are so far away, though. We're so far away.
Alright, roll it again.
We win. Great. Roll.
Roll it again.
Two attacks with my flail.
Sure, Ilya.
First attack with advantage.
Anubis has been under here this whole time.
Yep.
It's adorable.
Both attacks with advantage.
I just
Without enmity.
Yes, soft.
I've like looked into their kitty cat ears.
I just want my chalk to come back.
That is
Hey, Daisy.
18 to hit.
18 just hits.
Nice.
This guy seems pretty heavily armored. Chainmail and a shield.
Same.
Okay,
My ninja suit on.
with Hunter's Mark, it's going to be
Just roll both attacks for me first, and then we can do damage.
second
Yep.
attack. The other one's going to be 19.
Yep, hits. So both of them hit. You can roll damage for both of those.
Okay, so 1d8 and 1d6 because it's Hunter's Mark.
Yep, Hunter's marked.
So first hit is 16 damage.
All right. 16 with the first flail just bashes into this guy's chainmail.
Second attack. That is 21 for the second.
How do you want to do this?
Woo!
In Orcish, I say to him, I was never one of your kind, and I just spin the flail above my head, and I just come crashing down onto his face.
All right, so it looks like sort of shocked and angry and scared. All these emotions all at once as you just swing this flail above its head, and you say your line, and then just... and you feel its neck break under the weight of the flail, and it crumples to the ground.
Cute.
Well done.
Unmarked.
Because he's dead.
Oh, yes.
One would say I've left my mark already.
Hey. All right.
Yay!
So as this battle comes to a close, all of you sort of panting a little bit, and the tree going next to you, you see across from you this... Actually, Kodi, could you describe your character?
Yes. So, you see a female orc wearing chainmail and cloth above the chainmail with a belt around her waist. She puts her flail away in her holster on her right side. And you see on her chest the symbol of a red skull with flames behind it.
Ooh.
Which Qren recognizes immediately
Squad.
as Wee Jas' symbol.
Yes. And you see she has wraps around her bicep over her chainmail. And she also has wraps around her calves as well. And she is
Like leather wraps?
cloth, like
okay.
bandages. And you notice her tusks are medium-sized, jutting a little forward out, and she has pale greenish-yellow skin. And she's about 6 foot 1.
Wow.
I'm
We're
still
just
the
the
shorty
same.
in this group.
But I have a cowboy hat.
Her hair is currently being blocked by the chainmail hood and her actual cloth hood.
Okay.
So all you see is her
Cool.
face.
Cool. Alright.
6'1" Wee Jas squad.
Would have fallen into normal
Plus
stuff
headway.
and would have tried to pull some orc teeth out.
You're just
What?
so much.
I guess you did do that the first session. Yeah, that's
That's what Nala do.
okay. Make a
You're gonna
survival
have to
check.
hide those when we find Nathaniel Stein, because I'm sure he wouldn't be.
He would like buy them off you.
And as
I'm
my
sure.
wife, who I'd like him to like us.
Also, I would like to lay on hands
Yes.
myself. 35 points.
Just all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
So you watch as this new orc, as she sort of walks up a little to you, just puts her hand on her chest, and this radiant but similar energy to what you see Qren do wraps around her body, and her wounds heal up.
10. Athletics or
Does she look
Survival.
survival?
back to normal now, or still kind of
No.
I don't know.
8. 8.
I can still use it.
Can you grab the
Gummies?
Cats and plastic, man.
These two have
Yes.
been injured, so I'd like to cast not Cure Wounds. Mass Healing Word.
Mass healing word.
Now that we have time.
If we have time, you would want to do prayer of healing, remember?
I would. Yes.
Okay.
Well, then by all means, prayer.
That's the 10-minute one. Yeah. Okay. Mass healing word is like bonus action in the midst of the battle.
Yeah, I would. Okay. I do that.
So you over a few minutes as you all get to know each other. Qren is busy sort of casting a prayer of healing, and the two of you that are injured feel better by some amount.
22.
22 hit points.
Awesome.
Back to normal.
To be exact, 1 to 2. Yes.
Thank you all for helping me. That was quite unexpected.
Yeah. How'd you manage to get yourself into a mess like that?
Well, I've been traveling for a few days. I'm just on a path going where my savior, Wee Jas, has told me to go.
Hey, Qren! Is that your god?
You have another follower here?
Howdy, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Anuka, by the way. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Well, I'm Kieran the Wounded.
Look at him.
These are my friends. I was looking at my friends.
I'm Lily, a disciple, follower of Yaren. I don't know how much you know about
Make a religion check.
Disciple's a fun word.
Disciple.
No, 6.
You don't know anything about Yaren.
Yep.
Sorry,
That sounds like a god name.
I have never heard of this god.
Oh, you will. He's god of chaos, fate. He's kind of a bastard. He's a good guy. Not a bastard.
Interesting.
Anyways, nice to meet you. I'm Win. Don't follow anyone but myself.
I admire that. Hello.
You're done, yeah.
Am I done
You're
touching
done.
bodies?
You didn't do very well.
Well,
You
Shar's
broke
at
a
least
few of
very
them. You got
friendly.
like one.
Yeah.
My name's Kimbatu Nala.
Hello, I have seen your kind once before. Hello.
Do I trust this man?
Make an insight check.
Or do
Yeah,
I
woman.
trust this
Woman.
person? Do I
Woman.
trust this
Insight check.
person? That's a fucking natural 1 right there.
She's really trustworthy. Everything she says, you're like, hell yeah.
Alright.
Squad.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I say I too would also like to do an insight.
You can do it. You're the only other one.
That is fairly high. That is a 21. Nice.
I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, everything's checks out.
Cool. And sharp.
Hello, and who is
Shar
this
says,
little one?
"Oh, I'm Shar."
Squad.
Hello. It's nice to see another elf in these parts.
Where were you headed before you got overrun?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering. I follow what Wee Jas has told me, and she just tells me to keep going, so I just keep going. I have no idea where I'm heading to, but I'm just glad you all came. I don't know what I would have done against these savages.
So, tell me, where are you from originally? Because most... Oh gosh, I don't want to be insensitive. Most orcs that we run into are more similar to the ones we just slaughtered than ones as of yourself. More, I've never had an orc ever speak common to me before.
I came here when I was just a little girl. Yes, I don't know much of the outside world, so this is my first time venturing. Yes, when I was a girl is when I found Wee Jas speaking to me through dreams, and I left my home and came here.
Well, when you say you found Wee Jas, was this a traumatic experience?
Also,
Is she always a bastard, is what I mean to say?
She's not a bastard.
she is
She's
not.
the universal constant.
She is the light of my eyes, so to speak.
Well, we're gonna be.
She found me, actually. I didn't find her. Through dream, actually. Yes, and I followed her word. And there wasn't much communication with her until I came to this wonderful land. Yes.
We've all had complicated relationships. Our lords are not our best friends per se, but we do with them what we can.
As I've heard, everybody has a story.
Yeah, some interesting ones. Don't ask me.
Interesting.
I've got nothing to say. I was a prissy rich kid. Well, if you like, we're heading back to the capital.
The capital?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would love to join you. And I'd also like to talk about Wee Jas. I haven't seen much of anything related outside of the temple that I lived in. So,
Did you live in a temple?
yes, I have.
See, well, you probably already know more than I do.
I'm not the brightest of others. As you can see with this flail that I have, I'm more of the hitting sort. I prefer a hands-on method.
Fair enough.
Sometimes it is the best.
She's my jam.
And as she was saying that, she just starts wiping the blood off of the spikes off of the flail and just flicking it onto the ground.
So is it like you're the bringer of Wee Jas? Like Wee Jas is the death god, right?
Yeah.
So like you're the bringer of Wee Jas. You like
Yes.
bestow Wee Jas on people. And the more I say the name of this god, the less of a real name it sounds.
Oh, she's real.
Oh no! It's like when you say words a bunch of times and it loses the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Spoon.
But also the idea of bestowing Wee Jas upon someone is just like
What are you thinking?
Wee
Jas
Jas
is?
What?
Speaking of which, would you like to go over some things? I can tell you a little bit about Wee Jas from what I know.
That would be nice.
If you would like to
Yeah.
hear some words.
I'm always about learning about different gods.
I think I have a pamphlet somewhere.
So as you have this conversation, you gather up your stuff. Did you investigate the bodies? I thought you were only pulling orc teeth.
I thought that was both the same, but it was an 8.
For investigation as well.
I could go investigate.
Okay.
Some
somebody else do
bodies.
that. Go ahead.
Okay. The religious fanatics are all geeking out.
I'm gonna tap the eye on this one.
Okay.
Great. 19. Or no, sorry, 20.
Okay. 20. I mean,
Get drinks.
the thing is, orc tribes,
We're just bad.
not really rich.
Right.
You've learned some about them from Nathaniel Stein's books.
That we have.
Especially
Yeah,
the
I've
one
been reading
about
out
tribes
loud.
in Venebra.
I'm
But
reading
yeah,
out
so
loud,
these
y'all.
they don't carry much on them. Amongst them, you find like some weaponry. The longsword on the bigger orc guy is really nicely made.
Okay.
It's not magical, but it's just nice and taken care of. But you find 23 gold amongst all of them.
We'll just pop that.
The ogres had nothing. The orcs had some.
Imagine that.
That's alright.
Where would orcs keep things?
They have
I don't
pockets.
want that feature.
You're standing with an orc.
I mean,
that's
There's
racist.
There's no identifying like war
Too many
paint
words.
or anything on these corpses.
I'm gonna have you make a different kind of check for
Yeah.
that.
Compared to the rest of our party.
I'm gonna have you make
not that
a
short. A big man.
Like
history
I'm
check.
5'7",
Yeah.
and everyone in our party is over 6 foot,
7,
except
Shark's
like
really short.
supernatural.
No,
Yeah, sharks.
I thought Shar was 6'4" or
She's like
something.
5 foot.
Stone
I
character.
thought
Yeah.
she was.
5 foot.
Here, let me pull up her character sheet.
She's what?
5 foot 8.
5 foot
So
eight.
she's still taller than I am.
Still taller.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
they have some symbols, but you don't know specifically. Even matching it up with the book, he doesn't seem to have written about these particular orcs. Unfortunately.
No, it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems I don't have any pamphlets on hand. I must have lost them during this fight.
Damn.
Darn.
So as you have this
sure we'll be
conversation
able to
about
pick
gods
one.
and you investigate everything, you make your way, you continue your way, and you don't run into anything particular on this second to last day of travel. Eventually you get through, you're now definitely on the plains and the fields, the trees become even more sparse, and it is such a flat land to the north of Infar, the island you're on, you can see well in the distance, like the horizon, and it looks like there is ocean there, but it's like a day away.
Right.
And over the horizon must be Arkala.
Have you been to the capital before?
I have not. I've only been on the east coast of this land.
West coast. It would be west unless you traveled around, yeah, so west coast from the...
I have only been on the west coast. I haven't traveled much. This is my first adventure out into the world.
That would also make sense because there's not much in the way of cities on the west coast. Because unless you landed in Hondere, which is way to the south, you would have just hit mountains. You might have seen the Dark Elves and their town, and you might have traveled through the mountains. Is how you got here.
How does Arkala feel about orcs? I know that like racial biases are
Make
like a
history
huge
check.
thing in Europe, but
Oh, that's a natural one.
You have no idea.
I know that one half orc was racist.
Jared.
Yeah, Grigax. No, Grigax
Oh.
didn't like orcs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he's...
yeah,
He was
I
half
said we
orc.
might have to.
Well, we were gonna.
Well, somebody else
We all
wants to
know
make a
what
history.
we wanted. We don't know.
Shar will make a history
We
check.
were-
Okay, that's fine. Shar would know quite a bit too.
18, 19, 20, 22. 23 for Shar's history.
Orcs, people are easily able to tell if they're orcs from the Beastlands or orcs not from the Beastlands. You've seen orcs around Arkala. They're not common, but they're there.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Just making sure I don't.
You will probably not be
cosmetically
accosted
disguise
immediately
it.
as soon as you enter Arkala. As well.
Also, you're wearing like a very nice getup, I assume.
Yeah, and your clothing is better and more well taken care of than a lot of the orc garb.
I try to keep it pristine for Wee Jas. Wee Jas is pretty much my life.
This chick's another level. I like once a week spit on my thing and
Wipe it out.
And at this point,
You
she
wear mostly black.
at this
Yeah,
point
okay.
she lowers her hood and reveals her long black hair that is tied at the end in a loose ponytail.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So as you continue on this day, you don't hit anything scary, and you find sort of a dip in the hill to like make yourselves camp.
cute.
You eat you sit down, you eat some food, you get ready for your final day of sleep and final day of travel to get to Arkala. Somebody here make the survival check for the group.
Survival?
Not survival, sorry, perception check.
Hey, Shark.
Yeah, let's say
Sorry,
she's
yeah.
got that really nice.
What's your
Not that time. That's with 7. That's 10.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna read more of that journal while we're chilling.
Okay, so you make an intelligence check,
I'll help you with that.
and you can roll with
21.
advantage as you and Nala
Yeah.
roll, just in case.
Nope, 21.
Okay, so you read more of the journal. You're getting the hang of Old Common,
Dope.
and you're making notes and seeing like, okay, so that you don't know how it sounds in any way. Like it's like reading Old English in as much as you've got these symbols that are slightly similar to English, but not exactly. But you can make your way through getting context and figuring out basic stuff about the language, and you eventually get a few sentences in and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And what you find is basically what you figured out before, is even after a few more hours of studying this, it gets more and more arcane. So there are a few notes written in actual common in the margins of this is the next step, so you know where the next step is, but it's all in arcane language that's more advanced than you or Nala have ever seen.
Even as a progeny?
I think we will have to ask Vidar to look at this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how many days are we out of the capital?
1. You're going to get there tomorrow.
Can I, while we be chilling, can I send a message to Vidar?
Sure. First time using sending. How exciting. Yes, you've got 25 words.
Find it.
You sure you want Vidar? He's an Esterosi.
Right. Well, but he has the ability to.
Sure.
He's likes us better than Nigel does at this point.
That's Nigel's not.
Technically correct. Really just hates you.
Yeah, well, he was a bitch.
That's fair. Maybe I should just talk
Hates
to
who?
Nigel.
What?
He hates me because I called him out
No,
on being an
specifically
academic
Lilia,
who stays
yeah.
behind his desk instead of
So,
actually going out there and
He
fighting.
doesn't hate me,
Yeah.
perhaps?
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh, you're planning out your sendings?
Oh, yeah, I'd
Weird.
like to. Is hideout one word? Yes.
It depends on what you're saying. If it's a hideout, a noun,
Yes.
yes, it is. Hide out, though, is two.
Alright, I'm just gonna do it because that's too many words for me to keep track of.
Okay.
Hello. No. Howdy. There you go. Please meet us at the hideout.
Hideout is one word.
Yes.
It's 7 words.
We've got something interesting, perhaps, that I'd like your opinion on. Thank you in advance. Hope you are doing well.
Hope you are. And then it stops.
Hope you're well. Hope you're
You
well.
already said it. Hope you are. And there's like a pause, and this is to Vidar, right? Or Nigel? Nigel. So there's a few seconds that go by, and then you hear, participants in the tournament are not allowed to leave the grounds. Please turn around and go back to the tournament grounds. Thank you.
Well, guess we'll look at it after.
Miss the tournament? No, we just need to go directly.
No, I
there.
imagine he's already there. Yeah.
Make an intelligence check for me.
I don't want to fight him. 13?
Something seemed weird.
Imagine that. Something weird with the Resistenza.
Something weird is going.
As that's happening, I would like to cast Divine Sense
Sure.
as we're all sitting around. So I can detect good and evil.
Oh no!
And I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial, fiend, undead within 60 feet.
That's like...
Okay. You cast that. Let me read that again. Give me 1 second. Is it in actions on your thing?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Divine Sense. Since anything affected by the Hallow spell, when the celestial fiend is undead. Okay, within 60 feet, Lilia is celestial. But nothing else is around.
Interesting.
Also, to give you a little bit of a character description, I look like I may or may not be dead. Like I
Goth
have like
to the point.
I have like really like very very pale sallow skin. My hair is like white, like silvery white. I'm like on this side of gaunt, and I also like I have like a smattering of freckles, but it does not look like the sun put them there.
She looks like Alex from my novel. Interesting thing. If you ever read my book, it's pretty much the god of death in my book looks like that. Yeah.
I'm just looking at her in the aura she's giving off and just... Okay.
Hi.
And I'm just looking at the whole
Wait,
body.
I'm just curious
That's a
because
scene
wait, it allows you to see good versus evil, right?
It just detects celestials, fiends, and undead. It's called sort of detect good and evil.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, I have that.
I just didn't know if that could detect fallen versus not fallen.
Just tells you that you are celestial.
Okay.
In some fashion.
Before I forget about it, I thought about this during the battle. So I know we can't cast a spell and a bonus action spell, but what
Right.
about Channel Divinity? Does that count as
That
a
is
spell?
not a spell.
So I can do that and a bonus spell.
Yes.
Cool.
Because channeling divinity is like an action for your class, as opposed to casting a spell. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so you all bed down. What was your? Sorry, it was so long ago. Did somebody roll a perception check?
No.
It was-
Oh, you're doing something.
Shara would wonder if. Do you sing?
course she would.
What are you texting Emily? Is she like,
No, this is something I feel like she might say.
Perk up too.
We're at the fire.
Yeah, we are.
I do not. At the temple, I was not exposed to singing, more like studying upkeep and practicing my swing, so to speak.
Does Wee Jas not have like songs? Not like songs about Wee Jas.
You would know there are,
Mm-hmm.
but in the place you were raised specifically, that wasn't the focus. There are songs in every temple.
Yeah, that's what I.
But in
There
that one,
were,
it's very
but not where I was raised. I was not exposed.
I have to learn.
As I've mentioned to you all before, I was raised in a monastery of Palor, so all of my songs are very light.
Really?
They wouldn't work for her.
Who is this Palo you speak of? I've never heard of him.
Make a religion check, actually. Maybe you'll remember something.
Also, while we're discussing this, I'm braiding treasure.
Sure.
Oh,
Like I usually do.
12.
You know of Palor, not super worshipped on the Beastlands, gotta say.
Imagine.
But, god of light, happiness, healing, big Zeus-like dude, basically.
So what, you said you were with Palo? What made you switch to Regis?
yes. What made you switch?
Yes, what made you switch?
She's
You guys are the best friends.
And she's getting braided. Char's like, yes, what did they?
Emily's gonna kill you.
I'm not saying anything.
Next week's gonna be awkward when they're both single. Well, I don't really remember.
Can I do an insight check?
Yes.
I don't remember.
That is a 16.
I would say it is kind of lying in a way. Make a deception check.
Ooh. You hate lying.
That's why it's a +0. So it's a 6.
Oh.
It's not the entire truth.
Okay. I publicly let it go.
Sure.
Beautiful.
Let
I
it
go, okay.
All right, so I want to move things. I know you're all having amazing roleplay things, but I want to move you guys forward.
We'll get to town in 2 days worth of D&D.
Yeah, I want you to get to town. All right, so you all bed down.
Because knowing us, we'll go shopping.
It was like a 13. It's fine. The night is really peaceful in this. It's cold, though.
I
Again.
prestidigitized.
Sure. But you all wake up again after a
No
good...
weird dreams?
No weird dreams tonight.
Hooray!
Yeehaw!
For once. No, but you all wake up
story.
and you gather your things. You hear from next to you as Daisy really begs for pets in the morning here.
Should I actually try to see what gender Daisy is?
You can give it a shot.
I mean,
roll a nature check.
People. Oh. It's a 5.
Guys, we are nailing these animals. Great.
So,
First the horses.
It's weird because you thought you'd at least be able to see a penis or not see a penis, but cats are difficult.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're looking at.
Okay, that's fine. I don't really care. Their name is Daisy anyways.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you do see, of course, Anuka, there's a damn cougar with these people who just seems to be really nice and likes them.
I'm just
travels
cheering
around
and
them.
smiling.
I would also like to just test it out in the morning to see if, out of rope, I can fashion her some sort of collar, because I'm figuring that when I go into Arkala, they're not gonna like me having just a loose cougar.
Okay, so you got some rope, you cut some up, and you make a collar.
Cool.
It looks like a rope right now,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
Tie it around. She
I like
sort of freaks out for a few minutes and does the weird cat thing where they try and get out of it, but she eventually figures it out.
How much time has passed since we left the city?
Since you're with Meyerfall?
No, the capital originally.
How wanted might we still be?
That's exactly the question I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Or, well, not the whole party.
Were we still going to find a different way in?
Some of us with very
16
clear
days.
indicators.
Okay.
Like
it was
hats
16 days.
Okay.
and neck tats.
Your evil twin is still out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Well, luckily,
That was my twin brother.
I can always
Wasn't
throw makeup on people again. Cool. I take the collar off of Daisy, and it's like, this is for when we get to the capital. I have no idea if you can understand what I'm saying, but...
Cougars can, yeah. And then meows at you.
Cool. And
Alright.
then I say, let's
All
on
right.
our way.
Off we
Quick,
go.
got your berries.
Okay. Make a nature check.
Oh, I thought I still had
Oh, you still have some?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll say you're running real low on
Yeah.
yours.
I also feel like I should ask, how are the moonflowers doing?
They're fine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, they can
We've
mess
got
up.
so many things to do.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
So you
Side
travel onwards. This path leads up and then or north and then along the beach where you got attacked by a vicious lobster thing, and into Arkala. So somebody make a survival and someone make a perception for this final day.
I can do.
It's actually a little less.
I'll do
than-
perception.
11.
fine.
No, that's not what 6 and 7 equal. 13.
13.
We'll get it eventually.
All right. So
Basic
as
math.
you travel
Right, I
along,
did math for a little bit.
you begin
Think
to
about
get
medication.
towards the beach. You're stepping on a lot of slightly frosted grass for most of the day, but it warms up throughout the day and
long
begins
as it's not
melting.
crabs.
Your feet get sort of wet, but you're all wearing traveling clothes. And you eventually make it to the beach, which you had walked on before. And in the distance, you can see, some few hours away, you can see the huge city of Arkala. And you now see the city of Arkala from a distance for the first time. And what you can see from this angle is like this big wall, or you can tell it's big even from this distance, but this even more massive castle that sits on the top of the hill on the left, like facing the water, on the water edge. And it's just massive thing that can be seen for miles. And as you continue walking forward, you enjoy your walk along the beach, and eventually you get nearer to the city. And you can now see, as you get closer, it's within a few hundred feet, and you see the big wall that wraps around it. Arkala is sort of there's a hill on the side closest to you, and they sort of describe it, for narrative's sake, that it goes down and there's a huge harbor that you can't see from this angle. And you also see
Sexy
out
captains live.
to your right, yes, where sexy captains live, and to your guys' right you see the road. And that road is packed with carts.
Goodness.
It looks at least like 100 carts right now
Damn.
are in line to get into the city. And as you wrap closer to the city, what do you do? Because that's what you saw.
We gotta find another way in.
Are there? Well, there might be line of carts. Are there closer to the wall? Are there groups of just people still going in? Or
There's
is it
some people,
literally-
there's some carts, there's just a lot of people, and you see now as you get sort of closer, just to like take a look. I'm not gonna make you a perception check. This is loud, basically, and there are flags of various different places from across the world, from across Qren, like flags of nations from the mainland. You see a Gothlando flag and a group of Dragonborn. There's even members of Penchard and Black Chateau waving a flag going into this city, although only one of them from the land. And there's lots of places from everywhere. There's even Beastland flags, and the Beastland flag that you might recognize depending on how long you were there. But you see this face. It's a silhouette of the side of a hobgoblin's face. And this hobgoblin has this perfect, huge mustache, and then this long sort of, you know how Jafar's beard does the curly thing? It's just bigger and fuller, and goes and sort of points out, and behind his head are two swords that go out, and that's the flag of the Beastlands, and you notice that. But yeah, hundreds of people are going in, and we're going to take a break there before you decide what you're doing as far as going into the city goes. Hello everyone, Cameron Vest Davis here, your DM for Welcome to the Bone Era. Just want to first say thank you for listening to this episode. This is our episode 5 and our session 15, and we're glad that we have at least a few people along on this journey with us. I have a few mid-session announcements for y'all today. First up, I do want to give a shout out to Tabletop Audio. TabletopAudio.com is the place where I get all of the music and like sound files and ambient sounds that I use during the playing of our game. It's a really great website. He releases sound files all 10 minutes long for different feelings and settings. He releases them pretty often, actually. Since we started this, he's released like 4 of them, which is pretty exciting. I would suggest supporting his Patreon because it's totally worth it. All of his music and his ambient sounds are just incredible stuff. Next, we have some exciting news. At the time of recording these announcements, we have official character art. If you want to head over to my Facebook page at Cameron Nevesque Davis. I'll also be posting it along with this episode on Welcome to the Bonera's Facebook page, which the link is in the description for that as well. The art is a drawing of all of our characters and myself looming in the background as the DM, drawn by the absolutely incomparable Anna Maria Bryant. Her art is amazing, and links to her social media, etc., if you want to commission your own amazing art from her, are in the show description today as well. Finally, I do want to say, as I always do, if you want to support us financially, both this show and future projects by Hellas Hand Productions, my production company, you can head over to patreon.com/Cameron Nevesque Davis and consider throwing me $1 or however much you think this art is worth. And any amount of support is appreciated by us. And all of that money goes directly into producing more projects. So definitely check that out if you get the chance. I don't have anything more for you here in the mid-session. So without further ado, let's get back into the game. All right, welcome back.
Hello.
So,
We're good.
I got my whiskey. It's my second half of the game whiskey. Which will be great for all these gruff voices I'm about to do.
Yeah.
All right. So you are now at the entrance of, and as you get closer, you begin to hear the large crowd of people, and sometimes you hear music coming through and whatnot as you get closer. What do you do?
As we were walking,
They can't see me do this.
As soon as I noticed there was a group of Dragonborn, I would have gone up and asked why they're here, what they're doing, and what's the news from home.
Okay, so as you get closer to them...
All in Draconic.
As you get closer to them, for one thing, you're sort of cutting in line, but it looks like you're just talking, so nobody makes a big fuss. But what you see is no other golden Dragonborn. These are all... They're all white and black dragon. These ones specifically are white, a group of white and black. And they've got this big cart that's like a covered wagon. And it's being pulled by 2... They're not horses. They are these large lizards, which you only have ever seen in Gothlando. So they must have traveled a long way somehow, and they brought their 2, riding lizards from Gothlando, and they're these 10-foot long, 8-foot high, just massive 6-legged lizard beasts, and they're all going in front of this cart and pulling them. And as you walk up, they hail.
Hail, clan and kin.
Yes, it is good to see another Dragonborn here. May I ask your clan?
I am Clan Kimbatul, name Nala.
We are Vintrava. He doesn't offer his name. Are you 2 here for the tournament?
I am here on my becoming, but as fortune favors, I actually will be participating in the tournament.
Kimbatul, you said. Ah, yes. Your family places a huge stake in that becoming. Well, I wish you luck. We are here to witness the wonderfulness of the Champions of the Kingdom tournament.
will you just be witnessing or participating in?
For this one, we are witnessing. I am much too old to do this sort of thing anymore, but it is always fun every time we come here. Oh, we're moving. I apologize. We have to get in now. The line seems to be moving forward. Anyway, here. And you move forward. They move forward. Those huge six-legged lizards just moving them forward. The carts continue onward. You're now standing on the road. Your whole party's like 20 feet back.
Loading screen.
Sorry, I had to.
So, do you guys join the line, or what do you do?
Is there another way around?
Can we find another way in?
The other way's in. You didn't check last time.
Can we check this?
You can. I would say that there are thousands of people around.
That's true.
Which would make any of you scouting around a wall perhaps a little suspicious, but you can give it a go if you want. It would just be maybe difficult.
Do you want? The only thing I have that might be of service is water walk, and it's 10 minutes, so we'd have to go really fast.
Sprinting
across
Really
fast.
The only thing I have that might be useful is polymorph. If I wanted to change one of us into a mouse, then we can scurry on in, but, I mean... I don't know.
Guess we join in the line.
We're joining the line. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see another pocket.
So you head all the way back. You're like 110th in this line, it looks like, as far as groups that are being let in.
Yeah.
You are behind a group of just halflings who seem to be like they're playing violin. One of them's playing violin on the back of the cart.
I'll start chatting them up.
Hey!
It's like, oh, are you folks here for the tournament as well?
Oh, yes. We're actually one of the teams, or at least we're hoping to get in. It's a little difficult to get in, though, as you notice. This line's a bit long.
Have you done the tournament before?
Once before. 2 years ago. Last year I couldn't do it, but this year I was able to make the trip. It's pretty far to get to Venevra from the mainland, although a little easier for us. Good to meet you, though. My name is Thunthorpe Thripping.
Thunthorpe Thripping, nice to meet you. I'm Lilia.
Shakes his hand and he puts down his violin. Lilia! Well, are you here for the tournament as well, then?
Kind of. We're adventurers from, well, kind of all over, but centered right now in Arkala. So we just came back from a mission, and we were hoping to join the tournament, and I hope that we're not too late for sign-ups or anything like that.
I don't think so. I believe the sign-ups are just day before. They want as many people, and since it's really dangerous, lots of people don't want to really get involved.
Yeah, really
They'd much rather
dangerous.
see everybody else get killed, you know?
Oh, so, sorry, I always thought that the tournament wasn't quite like a death thing.
Oh, it's not. I mean, but people go down and it looks like they're dead. That's all people want, really. Then you drag the body off and then you cast the healing spells or whatever, and everybody gets back up, and it's just a good bit of fun.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't mean to alarm you.
No, that's okay. It's just there's,
You look world-weary enough to fight in death battles every once in a while, eh?
every once in a while,
Some
it's
of
fine.
us
I
do.
mean,
Sounds
like,
rather
partially,
sporting.
I say partially died about a week and a half ago, so it's no. Mari partially dead to be going. Never mind, those are jokes. Those are all jokes.
Hilarious. With her.
Do you want me to roll deception?
I do.
Lots of hilarious laugh.
13.
Did my bad laugh assist?
Sure. Jokes.
Yeah.
They'll sound like jokes.
So
Maybe you should get better at jokes.
she like it's like the loading screen inside of Lilia's head. Like I'm
buffering
fucking
symbol.
great at jokes. What are you saying? But none of that comes out of her mouth. So
Jokes aren't really my thing, though, so maybe I'm not one to judge.
are you?
I was trying to think of one as I was trying to tell you things like, maybe I should get better at jokes. Here's one, and it didn't work. So, this is where we're at. Yes, I'm a bard.
Yeah,
are you a
but-
bard? It looks like you are. Those are some really nice pipes you got on your back.
Thank you. They're a really great party trick at the moment. I haven't gotten to play them enough to see if they're worthwhile outside of parties.
Oh, well, there is a performance section of the tournament, so I hope you get to do it then. It would probably, I don't know, maybe wow everyone. I've never heard you play. But I hope so. I hope to see you there.
Yeah. Has the line moved at all?
Yes, it's moved a few places. You're moving forward in this conversation. You're actually sort of steadily moving in. It seems like, based on how quickly the line is moving, it's not like customs entering the U.S. or anything.
Right.
This is.
Great. It's like Chicago traffic.
Char is
it's still moving.
So impatiently bobbing up and down. Like every hour, she's gonna look in her bag of flowers to make sure.
Okay, the flowers are still okay.
I'm gonna read more of the journal.
And I will help
Just
her.
chilling.
Okay. I'm going to say, make a dexterity check, just for fun.
Because you're reading while you're walking. It's like
19.
texting.
19. Okay, so you're texting while you're walking, basically, and you're
I'm
trying
really
to
good
figure out stuff in the margins and whatnot. You see more that's like, hurt myself really bad. Don't do this one, and like it's crossed off like this whole section of like arcane sigils. What the arcane language looks like in Venebra are these like. You ever seen Gallifreyan writing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that in my world, as that's what arcane magic symbols look like. So in order to tell what a spell is, you got to be able to know how to follow along on the circles and wrap around. And there's like a certain arcane way of doing it. And this one is just completely X'd out. And then like with that ancient comment saying, don't do this, this is bad, nearly died today.
Okay.
And you continue
Don't
reading.
do this. Unknown.
And hearing from what they've said that orcs might be discriminated against, my hood is now up.
Okay.
And I'm trying to hide.
Thunthorpe looks at you. Oh, apparently my narration is in Irish as well. And it's like, well met, don't see many of you around, but you'll be well liked in this time. I believe there's a whole team from the Monster Lands, the Beastlands. Sorry, I don't mean to offend, of course, but...
Not at all. I have seen them.
Yes? Is it them up front? I just heard. There's whispers down the line, but it's kind of like a game of telephone, which is now canon. And so some things get mixed up as you go down the line, but I feel like there are a few teams, from what I hear, that have already signed up. Shit, one sec. That worked. There are some. Everybody went. But so there are a few teams already signed up, but I believe the ones in line, including you if you're signing up, would be the last ones available. I don't think there's a limit, but as I said, it's somewhat dangerous, and you need a team of 4 to 6, so some people can't get everybody together, and it's representing enough people.
I'm pretty sure we'll be fine as I put my hand over my flail and don't break eye contact and then look away.
He goes, yes you will, and points at you with his violin and then starts playing again and like walks up front of the cart and starts playing and talking with his friends at the same time. So he's now ignoring you.
And the friend, like everyone in that group is a halfling?
Yep, it's an entire group of halflings.
That's adorable.
I think. Yes, it's an entire group of halflings, and what you see...
So we're extra huge.
You see... that was Thunthorpe Thrippy. He's a man. There are two of them, two women, who are sitting off the side and sort of arms together and bobbing back and forth and sort of having fun trying to balance on the side, who are identical looking, so they're identical twins. And then there are a couple more male halflings. One of them's at the front that you can't see much of, and the other one's laying down in the cart with like a hat over his head.
Can I read some dimensions in doorway?
Sure, make an intelligence and dexterity check. This is an exciting line.
Well, you put us to the line.
Just ignoring
16 on dexterity and intelligence. That is a 9.
It's difficult, like, while you're dodging and stuff. Dimensions indoors, you really got most of what this book is about. Because there's a lot of those arcane things, and you really studied them before. It just goes more into teleportation circles specifically. And you now notice way at the back, because you're like, there must be more to this book. You see that it's, like, volume 1, but it's not listed on the cover for some reason.
Alright, this is only volume 1. That's good.
Yep, so you basically got...
Done.
Burns it? No.
No! It still has the Morlos purple Drawing on the
Yes,
back.
the terrible spiral that Lilia awoke and drew on it.
And while she's reading, I want to just be studying her color and her scales from what I can see.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask, are you related to those flying dragons by any chance? Or is that...
Can I say this in Orcish?
Where's the bathroom? Walks up.
When a daddy dragon and a mommy human love each other very much.
Just, I because there's a withering stare that happens.
My species is distantly related to actual dragons. Our origin is unknown, full of mystery, mysticism. There are many variety of theories as to how my species came about, but we are, in fact, related to standard dragons, yes.
It was the sex.
That is
No, how
fascinating.
Shrek.
Right.
I have to say, your kind interests me very much. As I've said, you're probably one of the only three that I've ever seen.
How recently have you seen others of my clan other than myself and this group that is in the line with us?
Only on my travels outside of the temple. I was enclosed for most of my life, training.
Do you recall where you met them and what they may be doing? If not,
Do I remember?
Remember?
I mean, did you invent this as part of your backstory?
Yeah.
And if it was when you got to Venebra, sure, you remember. But I would say they were... A gold dragonborn is pretty rare. You did not see a gold dragonborn.
It was actually shortly when I arrived here in this land from my original home. So I was still relatively young.
well, to be honest, I also am interested in your culture as well.
Unfortunately, I don't have much in memory of my culture back home.
I can probably help you with that. And I will pull out Nathaniel Stein's Book of the Beastlands.
So this book, as
Hand it to him.
she hands it to you, this book is specifically Beyond the Beastlands.
Beyond the Beastlands. Apologies.
Orcish Customs Beyond the Beastlands is what it's called. And it's by a man named Nathaniel Stein. But it's Beyond the Beastlands. So you don't get much about the Beastlands, but it does have sort of a preamble about culture of orcs in the Beastlands specifically. And it talks about how there were a group of specifically hobgoblins and orcs, but hobgoblins as taking charge, but then orcs as part of them as well, who decided to actually found a place, and they started talking with the various tribes on the Big Island to make it into a much more civilized version and teach people law and that sort of thing. See, he likes that
I would
book.
have said that and said it's a fantastic read, I assure you.
The rest of the book, as you flip through, and you notice that it's mostly about the kind of orcs that you just fought. Tribes of.
Interesting. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So as you were having all these conversations, the line did move all the way up. The halflings in front of you, what's his fucking name? Thunthorpe.
A name I will never remember.
Thunthorpe gives you a sort of salute and says, "Well, I hope to see you at the tournament grounds. Come find me if you're there. We'll get a drink." And then they head in. And then you are presented to a few guards. You notice that the guard presence is actually lower, interestingly, than at the when you were exiting. And one of the other guy at the front, this interestingly, same older man from before, who seemed kinder than the rest, comes up and says, "Holtz, may I see? Or, sorry, what are you here for? I'm assuming the festival, it's not really that complicated, but we have to give a little bit of a search of your stuff, just to make sure Nothing's particularly dangerous.
Of course. We actually are returning from a job from the Adventurers Guild upon completion.
Takes a look at them. All right, good. And then he hold on just a second and looks at a few like papers that are handed to him by another guard. And you now see specifically Wynn and Qren, because you're most worried about this. Make a perception check for me.
Okay. 15.
Okay. What was it?
One.
Oh, that's fine.
Just perception.
Qren decided to was
down.
looking back and like there's more flags of like places you've never even heard of and
I'm a small town boy.
dwarves, lots of dwarves that you've never seen. Like there's not that many dwarves, but you do speak dwarvish. And you see beyond it. What your perception check is a 1 gave you everything but what you were looking at. And then there's more flags and just more people are coming up this road, and you just see it's filling
Percepting
the
the
city.
wrong thing.
You, Wynn, see that they're going through more headshots, but noticeably yours is not in there. But there are a big stack, so it's still back to like the law has not changed, but it looks like they cycle through who they care about.
Okay, good.
And the older man looks at them and then hands them back. All right, and gives you a little pat down. It's fine. And everybody gives you a little look. Oh, well, welcome to the city.
Thank you. My first time coming here, actually.
Well, I hope you enjoy. And all right, good. Let them pass. And you get ushered in. And you have arrived back at Arkala, and the streets are filled with people.
Awesome.
Hundreds. It was already a 200,000 person city.
Yeah, no, everybody keep an eye on your stuff.
Yeah.
And it is now like the street, especially as you enter, like this particular entrance to the south of the city is packed. And you're all like shuffling through as people figure out different roads to go down and whatnot. What do you do?
Find our way back to the...
Should we split?
Well, because we definitely need to turn in our flowers.
As you're walking around,
you have nails to buy.
Just to be clear, there are big posters up, and the tournament is in 2 days.
2 days.
With opening ceremonies being the second day.
Okay, cool. So,
No, wait, 3 days. Sorry,
3 days,
I did my math wrong. There are 2 days, and then the third day in the evening is opening ceremonies for the thing, and it does say deadline to sign up is on the second day.
Okay, cool.
So you have a day.
So we have a day to sign up.
We're actually going to have more, I think, but whatever. It's done now. It's
Judging from the short thing that we heard with Nigel, we perhaps don't want to sign up till we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you can't leave the tournament grounds after.
We got to check on our beer, dude.
Yeah.
We do.
That's not on
True.
Let's go
We
back.
got orc beer.
Let's go back to the bar then, and bars with quotation marks around it.
Let's show her around to the bar so that they're aware of
At this point, Anuka is just looking around like the touristy thing, just going, holy shit.
Yeah, this is unlike anything you've seen. This is an immense city. There are buildings like 4 or 5 stories tall. It's a medieval town. That's tall. And just people, and there's bands playing music just on the streets. There's all manner of individuals you would never have seen in your life. All different races, and there are like some halflings, gnomes, elves, everything on this.
And meanwhile, Lilia is just with glee to be back in the city, like a true New Yorker, being like, "You smell that? That smell of urine."
Cute. Since
We're back.
You do smell the smell of urine.
My hood is now off, seeing all the different races.
Okay.
Yep. And you don't get any weird looks, because there are other orcs you see, especially at this seemingly festival time. No one seems to care.
Since Shar is not here, we don't have our map that she drew.
I don't remember where I
So
put
are
it.
we close to a certain
You're south.
area?
You have to go west and north.
We
We
don't
can
wanna
look
go,
for it.
I was going to say, we don't
probably
want to go
in the-
all the way through to the bar if we're closer
I don't know where it
to
was.
the shops you need to go
Probably in
to
your office.
/ the app.
All right, so there's the map of Arkala. It should be kept by you guys, by the way. I'm going to stop hanging on to it because I keep losing it. So there's the map of Arkala.
So where
What, do you
did
not like
we-
Daisy's poo smell?
Where did we come in?
It's your cat. No. You came in on the far south.
So the
that's
Temple
near the
District.
Temple District is where you enter the town.
So we can start out. Anyone need something to do in the Temple District?
I should probably go visit Yarn. Would you like to see the Temple District?
I would also want
Would
to go
love
there
to see
as
it.
well.
Okay. So you're in the Temple District.
Yep.
There's lots of people, but they seem to be clearing out. They're not here for worship.
Yep.
Can I keep an eye out for that symbol that the people had during my dream?
Okay, make a perception check for me.
15.
Does it smell like clean linen and cat poo now?
We'll call me. We'll call me.
13. As you stare around and look at all the... Because each temple has sort of a symbol on the outside, either etched into the stone or there's a flag coming out of it. You do not see that symbol. Yes, so what's everybody else do?
I would like to, attempt to find Yaren's temple again.
Make an investigation check.
Wait, is it investigation or insight?
Investigation.
Okay.
Insights for, like, are they lying?
Well, no, I thought...
Well, we've been
Well,
there
because
before.
Yaren's temple, you can't actually, like, investigate it. Oh, anyways, it doesn't quite matter.
Well, investigating is also, like, figuring out a names.
Yeah.
Well,
20?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you going off alone? What's happening with everybody?
Well, I'm going to go off to Yaren's temple. I explained to them. It's a little difficult to find. You're more than welcome to come with me if you like, but it's going to be a doozy to find there.
How long do you think it will take you?
I don't know.
Anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes.
Okay, do you want us to
Depending
meet
on how
back
it
here in
changes.
15?
So look at me.
Do you want to meet back here in 15?
Why don't we-
So I have to go to Bahamut's temple as well.
Why don't we meet back here in 30, just so I can, actually spend some time at the temple rather than find it and then leave.
Would you like to accompany one of us?
Actually, I'd like to see this temple of Bahamut.
Of course. Come.
Okay.
I'll go to Wee Jas
You
just
know
because
where
I
it
haven't
is.
been
Yeah,
to
I know
one.
where it is.
There is. We just make an investigation check, though, to see if you can find it.
Is
I'm not winking at you. That's my tick. I've got Tourette's. Yeah.
Is there a temple for
14.
Njord?
Yarn?
No, the sea god. Njord.
Oh, Njord.
Njord,
Right, I
yes.
forgot I added him into my
Yes.
pantheon. Make an investigation check. What was
Okay.
yours?
14.
14. Takes you all 15 minutes of like getting through the crowd and looking at all of them, but you do eventually find at the end, like all the way east, closer to the. Sorry, the city's really big, so it takes you 20 minutes close to the slums. There's a relatively small but red brick. It's a beautiful building with that symbol of a skull on it emblazoned on the front. Just one story. Looks like an old schoolhouse, basically, like an American schoolhouse. And yeah, there's the Wee Jas temple. What'd you get?
7.
7. You do not find a Njord.
Alright.
It's too difficult, especially so many people in this
Right.
city right
I
now,
figured.
especially in the
I
temple
figured.
district at the moment.
Actually, I would change it. I would actually want to join.
Make it with advantage to see if you get it there faster.
Oh, I sure do. 18.
Yeah. So you are able to go. All right. It must be around here, and you.
Alphabetical.
Yeah, it's pretty much alphabetical. It's Wee Jas. It's at the end. So you are able to find it. Since we were back to Lilia, you duck down that same hallway. There's now a left turn when there was a right turn before. And you're like...
I flip off the turn as I make it.
And you go down, and then there's a T, but down one way there's literally just a pile of dead rats.
Great.
And then to your right is more path, and you eventually find it. It takes you 15 minutes to get there, but you find it. And there's one priest loudly snoring in one of the pews. And the other priest is juggling. Sees you come in, drops all the balls. They were glass and they shattered. And he goes, "Oh, hey!" And he waves his hand and some magic cleans it up and he puts them all in a jar. And you see now there's this huge jar of just discarded glass that's been put in on Yarn's, next to Yarn's statue, and Yarn's hand is out as though he's leaning on something, and they put the jar underneath it. And you can tell that they like ripped out some stone thing that he originally was leaning on, and now he's leaning on this jar.
I wouldn't expect
Oh, hi.
at best.
Huh?
Nothing. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I remember you. You've been here a couple times. Welcome. Would you like a ball of glass?
You know what?
Here you go. You have a ball of glass. It's just like it's not a marble. It's like 2 inches in diameter. It's just a ball of glass. You have no idea where you got him, and he just pulled it out of seemingly nowhere.
I
his
take
hammer
it,
space.
and I'm like, so what's with the bowls?
I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to juggle them.
Yeah.
People are shocked when you drop them and they shatter everywhere. It's chaos, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
But I'm aware.
Oi! Joseph! And Joseph, who is apparently the sleeping priest, goes, "Ugh. Yeah? We've got that visitor again. You know the one who talked about, like, those stones? And Joseph goes, yeah! Hey, visitor.
So, do you guys know anything more about the stones, by the way?
Well, we did all our praying, says not Joseph.
Yeah.
We did lots of praying, we did lots of talking with Yaren, and Yaren was like, I'll get back to you. Is that helpful?
Well, I mean, I'm glad that he's talking to you, but I think it's because he's been...
Apparently he's looking into it, and it's dangerous, and we don't know who's behind it yet. That's apparently the gist that we've gotten. It's big and a problem, and we'll deal with it when it happens.
Okay, well, alright, well, thanks for the bowl.
Anything else I can help you with? You're at this temple, and he waves his hand, and in the corner you see a awful graffiti drawing of Yaren, like, pantsless, and giving finger guns.
I kind of whacked the priest. I was like, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" Ooh.
And the priest's like,
Terrible.
yeah, I want to see something cool.
I hum the melody.
And Yaren now is
Helicopter?
like helicoptering and finger gunning, and like gives you a wink.
Yep.
And finger guns at you. And yeah, so the moving image of Yaren now dances, and the two priests are like, whoa, in unison. And Joseph's like leapt out of his chair. Give me one of those balls. And the other guy produces one and chucks it at him. And the other guy like, barely catches it and goes, this is awesome, and just chucks it at the wall, and it shatters on Yaren's image for no reason. He just does it. And the glass goes and the other one waves his hand, and again the glass flies up and goes back in the jar.
Yeah. I like
chaos, man.
I give them like a wink and I was like, Yaren gave me that, and I wink at them and I walk away to go pray.
They like give you nods of respect.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Joseph goes, alright.
How do I get that job?
Immediately falls back asleep.
Cast narcolepsy.
Basically, like with me, I have the ball, I look at it, I smash it down on the altar.
And not Joseph goes, yeah! from a ways away, and then waves his hand, the glass shards go back in the thing. You get it.
I get it. And like the little prayer I send up to Yaren is basically like, thanks for the good laugh. If like we made it back, if whenever you find out more stuff about the stones or anything I might be able to do to like look up things, let me know. But also, thanks for just keeping an eye out. And also, Lorella is a darling. Thank you for introducing me.
You feel that same warmth you've gotten before when you pray to Yaren. There's like a recognition you get.
Awesome.
He's heard your prayer.
Yeah. I finger gun up at his graffiti and I walk out.
He winks at you again.
Yeah.
Helicopter.
What a guy.
Gosh, if only we had fan art. Anyway.
Yes.
Can Shar help Wynn find their temple?
Sure. Roll again if you want.
Sure. Natural 1.
Nope.
Oh,
So
you guys are
if
lost.
You guys are like, is this even the temple district anymore?
Yeah.
And it's hard. It honestly is hard to tell though because of how many people are around. It's difficult to keep track of these streets. They're not well labeled. It's like London, where the street labeling signs are on the buildings for some reason.
Right.
And it gets really confusing about where anything is. Bahamut.
Yes. I will walk into the temple.
Any other with a group of Dragonborn in here? Are there any other? There are actually a few. Yes.
Yeah.
All of them not chromatic. They are metallic dragons. Okay. They are all in pews. This is like Catholic church looking place.
Wonderful.
Oh, I agree.
To a frat house.
Yep. But it's Catholic church. There's a smell in the air, but it's like
cute.
It's not frankincense, even though that would make sense for Catholic church. Mm-hmm. It smells like a campfire mixed with like coal smoke as well. It's that sort of burnt smell in the air. And there are priests of Bahamut. Here they are both human. But there's lots of Dragonborns, and they seem to be sort of talking with each other, like, as the Dragonborn, the literal 20 of them that are in the place are doing their business privately. Not shitting. They're praying.
Yeah, they're praying.
I mean, tomato.
May I walk up to the altar fire?
Yes, and there is this massive brazier in the center with a massive statue of a huge... Like, it's probably 20 feet high of this dragon in the air. And this massive brazier, probably 5 feet long. Like, you know how the Olympic torch is lit in that huge thing? That's what it looks like.
Is there a priest nearby?
Yes, there's two of them to your right now. And they're sort of talking with each other quietly.
I would like to ask them their permission to say a prayer and address the congregation.
One of them turns to you. This is he looks like a younger man. Perhaps not have been a priest of Bahamut very long and now has to deal with the first tournament of the city. He looks like agitated and confused at how many people are in his temple. And he looks at you and goes, permission? Yeah, I mean, that's what it's there for. I'm sorry, I'm trying to work on that. Yes, please, my child. Pray to your heart's content. Offerings are also able to be given. We can give you stuff to throw in, or if you have something, please, the brazier is yours. And then immediately turns back like, gosh, this is really confusing.
Thank you. I'll go up to the altar and loudly in Draconic say, my friends and clan and kin, may I have a moment of your attention?
Do you include your name, clan name?
My name is Kimbatul Nala.
Okay.
Do any of them pay attention?
So, as you walk up and go, Doshkan Kalhuska, Kimbatul Nala Kunazuka. And do you give an offering?
Yes, I pull out the
I hope this isn't
tooth.
recording too loud.
I pull the tooth of the wineling that
wyvern?
The
wyvern, yeah.
from
Wineling.
Wymling. That's
Nope.
That's a wyvern.
You have found a wineling.
Okay.
I've never heard of that before, but that's cool. No, it's a wyvern.
I'll pull the tooth out of the wyvern, and I will say, again, in Draconic, please note that a captured soul has been released. They have embraced freedom and are now accepted into the bosom of Bahamut. And then I will inflame the fire and put it in there.
And it disappears. The brazier's hot,
Mm-hmm.
and this is like furnace level temperatures. So you can see lots of dust and really clearly melted metal and whatnot in this brazier, but it's somehow still burning. It's this everlight.
May you fly free into the ethereal.
All right. And you turn around because you were curious about if anybody took notice. And there is a gold dragonborn sitting there sort of scratching his nose. at you and staring directly at you as you turn around. He gives sort of a nod.
And I will step down from the altar and join the congregation.
Okay, so you're just doing your own private thing?
Yeah, I'm just gonna... If anyone talks to me, then that's fine. But if not, I'll walk out.
Okay. You eventually leave.
Okay. That's it.
That's what happens. Wee Jas temple people.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? No, you walk in. You haven't even seen the place yet. Oh, do you not walk in?
I'm
All
gonna
right.
stand in the doorway.
Okay.
I'm just kind of peeking.
Okay, so as you
I'm
open,
gone.
there are double doors.
I'm a cautious
And
fan.
you open in, you just head in.
Yep.
And Qren sort of walks up slowly and looks inside. This is a much more... It's not as formal, even as Yaren. Yaren at least had pews and like a section where somebody could stand and speak. This is many different mounds of rocks and some dirts and other things like that that allow for altars to be made. And there's just hundreds of altars in this temple. Just tiny little either figurines or maybe even just a stick, or somebody wrote a name on a piece of wood and put it into the rock, and it's just covering the walls. And in the distance all you see is sort of the bottom half of what you assume to be Wee Jas, just draped in a skirt and barefoot and standing. But the statue does not continue above her waist. She's just there watching over, as it were, of the temple. And inside there are a few people. One of them is like a crying 12-year-old boy who's just sort of rocking back and forth and holding a symbol in his hand. You can't see it. He's got a closed fist, but he's clearly got a necklace around his neck. He rocks back and forth, whispering something under his breath to one of the dirt altars, which has a candle lit, just stuck inside it and burning. Beyond that, you don't see anyone else in the temple.
I'm going to walk up to her altar. I'm going to kneel down and I'm just going to say, thank you for bringing me here. I hope I'm doing you proud, and I continue to hope to do you proud. Thank you.
I kiss my flail and then put it back in.
The godly flail. And you feel what can only be described as slightly moistened fingers touching your forehead. Get off! We're not going to keep it that serious. Qren, do you do anything?
Turn around.
Do I recognize anything?
All of these altars seem very personal.
Okay.
Every single thing in this, the ground is not, by the way, stone or anything. It is a dirt ground. With some wooden planks that are embedded in the ground, like railroad ties, basically, that lead up to the main altar. But everything else is dirt, and it seems like all the altars people have made to whoever has passed on have either been brought in with rocks, or they just pile up the dirt of the thing and pile it up and make it into whatever altar is necessary, and people add on. But you don't recognize anything else.
I'm gonna uncomfortably make my way to the front.
Okay. You walk in. You feel a sort of behind you.
So I go up to the legs.
Yep.
Ma'am. Take my hat off. So what do you guys normally do in here then?
You're asking that of
Yeah.
Of Anuka?
Yeah.
Well, I'm more of the practitioner of the hand-to-hand. I follow her mostly because she gave me magic and my strength.
Fair enough.
I never handled burials or any of the official business. I'm more of a warrior for her of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Just come, I would say, speak from the heart. She will listen, and I'm pretty confident she will respond.
You don't have to respond. It's okay. Well, she's already told me what to do, so there's not much sense in talking. Nice to see you. Bye. And on my way out, guess I'll just pat the kid on the back.
He sort of flinches away, looks up at you, nods, goes back to whatever he's doing, praying. Okay.
I follow her.
The kid doesn't look familiar or anything.
You do not with this kid. He's a kid of Arkala. All right, so you all make your way outside and meet up back in about half an hour. Lilia gets a little lost on the way back.
Imagine that.
Got 21!
Still get lost on the way back.
Fuck
You have to follow a god of chaos. And you find the place that you had met up prior. And you're all together now.
Yep.
What would you like to do here in the city?
How was everyone's time apart?
It was fine. Prayed, did churchly things.
Proud.
Make a deception check.
Yeah, I don't know how churchly any of your actions were.
13. Lilia.
Do I believe her?
All right, go ahead. Make an insight check.
Can I get
Yeah,
in?
go ahead. You two can do it. You two can do it.
23.
10.
You think she's done churchly things, Anuka. Just what you did. You go into the church. That's what you know about how it's done. Qren, you're like, bullshit.
What? There was a half-naked picture of Yara they drew above it on the side.
We're
Like,
all
dance.
baby stepping. We'll get there.
My head is cocked as she's saying
Listen,
that.
it's my churchly thing. That's what Yara would have wanted. The priests drew it, not me. I
Sometimes when I see half-naked men, I also feel close to God.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
What would you like to do?
Squad.
I would like to get back to the bar. I have some friends
Lilia
I
does
would like to
big air quotes.
I can't
with
see
her.
the real thing.
Yeah.
Technically, that's the closest to where we are.
That's true.
On the map.
Yeah.
So let's check in.
I'd like to go back to the bar. I also have some, friends also in giant air quotes that I would like to see.
It is
Lady friends?
Because I want to get
relatively late.
Friends.
Oh, I would like to get to the armory. I'll meet them at
The blacksmith?
We could still go tomorrow.
I can, just for the sake of, you pick up your cool silver claws if that's what you're aiming
I
for.
was aiming to talk to the blacksmith.
Okay, we can talk to the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second to remember who they are.
We didn't actually talk to the blacksmith. We just talked to the
Talk to the
apprentice.
kid, yeah.
It's
it's that one.
Who I imagine is only more harried now that there is a whole
the blacksmith
last
at one point when
Yes,
you picked up
when-
your plate.
When I got the plate.
And I was with
And
you at that
Sure.
point.
I wonder what voice I did for her.
Hang on.
The problem with being a DM.
Yeah, apologies.
I don't remember what name. I should really make voice notes on everybody. I only make them on major characters.
Just like what mix you used.
Yeah, pretty much. It's gruff estuary. But yeah, so all right.
It was Penelope.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Blacksmith.
Doesn't mean I know what voice it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you head to the blacksmith. I'll get to you guys in just a second. Back to the city episode. All right. You head into the shop. This time, Penelope, who you saw only in the background. She was busy making something for the military at the time. But she is now sitting there reading absent-mindedly some sort of book and eating a sandwich.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah?
I'm here to pick up a commission. I'm a little late, apparently. Apologies.
A commission, what's your name?
Kimbatul Nala. It's a pair of...
Sure. Opens this giant book next to her. Kimbatul Nala?
Close enough.
Alright. And she goes off to the back and pulls out these just very finely made silver tip claws. So you now have a set of iron claws with silvered on them.
Thank you.
So your melee attacks are not too terrible now.
We saw some werewolves at some point.
If only. Yeah, whatever.
Thank you very much. Apologies for picking up these so late. I was hampered by a job for the Adventurers Guild.
You're not the first person to pick up stuff late from my shop. It's fine. Traveling takes a while.
I have one question. I'm actually doing a favor for another blacksmith of the area, Arfak Dockstern. I'm looking for...
From Esterosi?
From Oster, yes.
Alright.
So he is, he's lost an item, a glaive of some moderate importance, and I'm wondering if a particular item of that nature has come across your shop, a glaive of an electric ability.
Wow, she's good.
A glaive.
Very subtle.
We don't get many glaives around here. I can go check. Maybe my apprentice saw it or something. Let me go in the back.
Thank you.
She disappears. 5 minutes. 10 minutes.
She fucking has it.
20 minutes. She comes back out front. Yeah, I don't see a glaive back there. Sorry.
Well, thank you very much for the claws. And
yeah, I'm pretty proud of those. I've never been asked to make claws to fit a dragonborn's hands. It's cool.
Well, I'm very happy to give you that challenge.
Yeah.
And they are fantastic work. Can't wait to.
And they fit perfectly too. They're like excellent. Yeah. Nice claws.
Thank you very much. I hope to call upon your services later. Do you work with Mithril?
I've been known to. Sure.
Thank you very much. And good day. I'll give her a call.
Oh, thanks. She bites it a bit. Thanks, and sticks it in her pouch.
Maybe tipping.
All right.
Nail tips.
Now I'll go to work.
So the rest of you find your way to the ruined horseshoe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
As I remember what it's called, I just can't use the R word while we're out and about in the capital.
Ruined?
What?
That's the one.
Yeah. But yeah, you find your way to the ruined horseshoe, and Emily, the barmaid, is there. She's like, welcome back. Yeah. There's a couple people down there.
Cool.
Keep it under your hats. Lots of people in this town right now.
So I look at Anuka, right? That's I look at Anuka and be like, "There's some things we need to explain to you."
Okay.
All right.
Well, also we can't explain it while we're out in public, so down we go.
We can tell you, but then we'd have to kill you.
Yep.
That's
Hearing that, I would like to cast Divine Sense again.
Okay. You detect Lilia is celestial.
Okay.
Within 60 feet.
Okay.
So before
It lasts for an hour, right? I think it does. I looked at it before. I read the whole thing.
does
until
today.
the end of your next turn, though. So it's only 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So Lilia is celestial.
Yeah, okay.
You head down?
We go downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I go downstairs.
Emily, makes sure to make a distraction and go, "Oh my gosh, look!" At that one of the flags that passes by. Outside, more flags of different places. Bunch of places that even people from the mainland are like, "Where the hell is that?" And tiny countries that they just come here for the festival, apparently. And you head down into the quiet of the bar. Since you're not outside anymore, let me change that a bit.
I'm gonna go straight to my beer.
As we're walking down, I look to Anuka and I'm like, "So how do you feel about overthrowing oppressive regimes?"
Just some light
Jesus.
casual dinner.
As you do.
So, government and leaders?
Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
So this is like while you're opening the thing and like,
Yeah.
so how do you feel about it?
Long story short, the king is a tool.
Tool.
Long may he reign.
Sorry. Is that how much? I don't mean like how much of a rule follower are you? But
Well, a little lower.
yeah.
How much of a stick is it?
Let's just say that if I see wrong being done, I will change that.
Wonderful.
So the king.
You haven't made it downstairs yet.
Oh,
Okay, down we go.
I haven't described anything yet.
Sorry, I thought we were like going downstairs as this talk was
You are,
happening.
but it's only a ladder about 6 feet long or
Okay.
10 feet.
Okay.
So as they ask you that, and you like come down, and you begin answering, and y'all look around. Your beer is still there, in the corner of the room.
Sweet.
What?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Is it more beer-like now?
You'd have to go check, but we'll get to that in a second. There's
Priorities, guys.
down there. All you see are the two Elijah twins.
Huh. Okay. Everybody's busy.
My pals.
And they turn and go, "Oh, well, it's been a while. It's been a while since I..." And it switches to the other one. "Saw you. Sorry, we saw you. We get a little caught up sometimes when we're alone."
My hand is on my flail.
I like feel weird, but they're fine.
Partners. I go over and I shake both their hands.
They both shake your hand at the same time. That was weird. That was weird, they say to each other. Turn back to
We've
you.
established.
How was your... I hear you had a trip to somewhere where you were going to help people or something? Maybe some adventuring has to happen.
Yes, it went.
I don't know how this translates on a podcast, but we'll see what it does.
We need to have like a video screen. I mean, it went.
Those binaural mics.
You know, we got the job done. There were werewolves. It was fine.
That doesn't sound particularly great.
I mean, no, it was actually kind of horrible, but we did save some people, and that's the goal.
Well, that's good. Who's your new friend? Hello.
Hello.
My name is Qren.
Anuka.
Nice to meet you.
This one on the right, right?
So what you see, in order to describe, because all of them know what they look like, but they're two weirdly ethereal-looking elves.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of wobble back and forth in unison.
Mm-hmm.
They look identical. And now you guys notice the difference is they're growing like, it looks like autumn leaves all around their head and down their body. And they always steeple their fingers and are waiting there. They look very pleasant, but odd. It's very difficult to sort of feel entirely comfortable around them, even though you don't sense any like malice from them.
In that case, I'm going to say in Elvish, pleasure to meet you both as well.
Give me 1 second to look up character sheets. I know they're elves, but Eladrin are weird. So I think we're good.
The other one's name is Kyrie?
Yeah, I think so. Carrie. Yeah. Kiri. Well, Carrie. Yeah. Carrie is
I didn't spell it well, regardless of what it is.
goes back in Elvish. It is a pleasure to meet you as well.
Mm-hmm. I just relax my shoulders.
I like your friend. And it's weird because the one on the right, Qren, points at Lilia, and then on friend it switches to Carrie, who points at you when they say friend.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we like it too. That's why we brought it back. Well, back down here. Speaking of, where is everyone else?
Everyone else is busy. We're running Nigel's shop. He was called away by the king, apparently.
That sounds great.
It wasn't the greatest news, but apparently he's working for the tournament somehow. I don't know exactly what's going on as far as that goes, but he asked us to look over the shop This is very annoying as you watch. And then they sort of see you guys going back and forth with eyes, and they're like, oh, I apologize. And then they move apart from one another. Qren goes, now we can speak independently, can't we? Carrie says, yes. So, she says,
Is this an Oncaris thing?
a what?
Whatever their god is that I knew for some reason.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He's an archfey.
Make a religion check. Large religion check.
21.
He's an archfey. He is particularly into
Weird shit.
deception and illusion. Like it's just odd shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's in that particular archfey thing. You guessed it. So Carrie goes, well, he was, yes, so we're running his shop for now. Please come by if magic item needs.
Do you know much Arcana?
We're very good at, sorry, nearly did it there. We're very good at that. They nearly switched. Like you could see both their eyes sort of close. And then they stopped themselves and went, like, calming each other down.
I look at Nala and go,
I don't think I'm back yet.
oh,
Not yet.
I'm actually wondering if I could have Shar with me. I would like to
Sure, that makes
I would
sense.
like to go
Whatever.
2 bins afterwards.
Sure, yeah. That's good.
Okay, well, I might
yeah,
have something for
Daisy's
y'all to
also
look at.
down.
Daisy has climbed down the ladder.
Somehow.
She jumps.
No, wait, it was a staircase. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Squat.
I'm sure Daisy could handle ladders.
Probably. Flips down.
Very smart.
It's really a tabaxi in disguise.
Right.
So, well, we're going to get back to our business. I think we have to close up the shop. We really should be there right now, shouldn't we? and Coach Aaron goes,
Oh, God.
shit, you're right. And they sort of weirdly walk. Their upper halves of their bodies do not move when they walk, but they're clearly like stepping like they're in marching band and moving through the space very smoothly, and they make their way up.
Like semi-shuffling?
Well, no. So marching bands, you make sure you only move your legs, so your top half can be perfectly steady.
Or Irish dance.
Or Irish dance. Yeah, so that's what they look like. They're not floating, but they're very smooth.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna check on my beer.
Okay. Make a beer check. No,
You have the book, right?
What, I tell like that? I do.
Yeah, you've got
no,
the
make
book.
a...
'Cause I don't have it in my equipment.
So Damien's not here anymore. So just make an intelligence check for me.
Just doing my best. 16.
Okay.
Oh, do you know anything about Orc Brew?
Oh,
Make an intelligence
Hey,
check.
look at this thing that I'm
yeah.
making.
Anuka, make an intelligence check.
Anuka, I'm making beer.
Intelligence check.
It's pink.
Yeah, it's bright
Someone's pink ale, yeah.
Wait, I made a note of it.
There is 6.
You don't know anything about beer.
I do not.
No! Those religious sorts.
It's weird because, well, monks make liqueur. Anyway, so you check it. It looks like it's nearing the end of what would make a decent beer.
So we can't drink it yet.
It would require about another week, based on the book that you have, to figure out, to get to the place of bottling.
Cool.
You have a week on your orcish pink ale, whatever that is.
Wonderful.
I just continue to explain to Anuka the state of
Okay.
old
So,
Arkala.
for the sake of time,
Salvador bad.
Salvador Destori, when they first got here, murdered or executed 4 people in front of them and in front of the entire city. It is illegal to speak out at all against the king in Destori, punishable by death, including if you're children or anything. And there's this whole group of hunters who are they're the Venatores Laicii, who specifically hunt out treason, because they're Venatores in Latin means treason, so treason hunters. Supposedly. Don't kill me if Google Maps or Google Translate got it wrong. But the treason hunters, they are bad. They know some magic. They're quite strong. They hunt down people who do that.
And
Sure, tavern music. That's fine.
Is this regime, as you call it, is it official law in this city, or is it just hearsay?
The regime is in, like, you can't speak out against the king?
Yeah, like, is the king, is it lawful? Is it the law?
Well, the king decreed it. That makes it law.
Interesting.
They can, by rule of the king, kill you for speaking out against the king.
Mm-hmm.
And there is also, by my account, unnecessary war going on over lands that a lot of people are not happy about. And if you speak out against that, you're speaking out against the king. It's Elvish land that they're trying to take over, right?
Yes, they're taking over Hundare, which is High Elven.
Yeah.
At that point,
And
I
Gnomish.
squeeze the handle of my flail.
Interesting.
So we found ourselves as part of an underground organization to help undermine the king's authority. I understand if you don't want to be a part of it, but the thing that you must know is if you're not a part of it, you cannot speak of it.
I understand. If it's to prevent lives from being taken, I will be a part of this.
And I release the handle of my flail.
All right. So it's getting late now.
Yeah. Should we go over the secret handshake? By which I mean not a handshake.
Oh, yes. For other members of the Resistance, they will probably be a little surprised that we brought in someone new. Especially because we're kind of new ourselves, but we've done a lot of work for them already, so it's really not new. But anyways, they will ask you, I like your shirt, where did you get it? And the response, if you are part of Resistenza, is, I got it from walking the path. Now, if you ask someone if you like their shirt, where did they get it? And they're like, the store. Don't say anything.
I grip the symbol and I just look up and I say,
Is this what you meant?
and then I go,
Okay.
Yep. You do actually feel a little warmth when you do it.
And also, so we do have you are a new friend of ours now, is joining us in the tournament. I'd kind of ask the group this. Is that something that we're interested in? Do we want 6?
I mean, my
certainly wouldn't hurt to have an extra muscle.
Yeah.
I would definitely love to hone my abilities more.
Sure. Great. Then whenever we sign up for the tournament, we'll sign up for 6.
Great. So, as the evening comes to sort of a close,
I was trying to get.
You have got back.
Oh, I was talking about Shar going to
Shar going to Tupin's. Yes.
Yeah.
So interestingly, I noticed when rewatching Critical Role that Blank's Tinctures and Tonics totally accidentally, subconsciously named Tupin's the exact same thing as something that Matt Mercer named it. Totally didn't mean to. So we're leaving it and going, it's an homage to Turman's Tinctures and Tonics, which is in Rosanna.
Matthew, we're fans.
We are. But you go back to Tupin's Tinctures and Tonics, and the small gnome with the bold black hair and the sort of raggedy clothing sitting on his desk. Oh, hello. Oh, I remember you.
Hi.
You're being Emily. That's amazing stuff.
Is that
That's
your
fine.
Char
Well,
impression?
for once, we don't sound the same. There's a difference in our voice.
I still think there's a difference in your voice anyway. But
I don't hear it, but,
Hi. Yeah, we just got back from the mountains,
Oh,
and
Good.
I actually do have some of your flowers for you.
Excellent. And he hops off the counter and like runs up to you. He goes, please, hand him over, please.
She will take the jar out first.
Looks over, smells them.
Cute.
Yes. Those are a moonflower. I would recognize them anywhere. This will make for, well, amazing things. I have to say, amazing things. Thank you so much. I think I owe you a reward. 1,000 gold.
Yes. And actually, I know you can make such amazing things for them. In fact, as I don't know if you recall last time, I am hoping to learn a little bit of your trade. And if you'd be able to, I actually do have some extra flowers of my own.
Ooh.
And I'm wondering if you might be able to, at any point, teach me how to press these and work these into any medicinal properties.
So he looks outside at like all the people and goes, that can definitely be done. Currently, some amount of business. Maybe come back in a week or so, and we'll be able to teach you some things.
Got all kinds of things to do next week.
And he puts the jar back up on the counter and it's like reach it. Clink. And then it's like, yes, for sure. That's something I could do. I mean, for a fee, I could teach you like the basics of moonflower stuff. It's very particular work, but you look like you have a sharp eye about you.
How much is the fee and how much was the payment?
Ooh. Well, the payment, yes. Let me get that. And he runs around the counter again. Shuffles. Walks out and hands you like a small chest of 1,000 gold.
Okay. Was this a personal thing that she picked up?
Nope, that was part of the group.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
We always go walk to the mountain.
And says, I'd have to work on how much work we do and how many hours and all that sort of thing, so I'm not sure exactly how much it would be, but definitely come back and we can talk about it when it's a little less busy. And like at that exact moment, three people come in, like looking around. They look like tourists. They're like,
Yeah.
What do you think about this store? And the woman goes, yeah. Let's look around. And they start searching.
Of course. So, would it be a bother if I left these extra flowers here for you? I'm just worried that if I'm taking them around, that they might get lost or stolen or anything like that. And you seem...
Sure. I guess. Make a persuasion check for Shar. Not that he'd be against them, but whether he decides to keep them for you is...
17, 18, 19, 22.
All right. So, yes, I mean, I guess since you're coming back and we'll like work together, that's exciting. I'll keep them. I'll dry them for you. We'll be able to work together next week then, eh?
And let me know whatever the fee is. I'll gladly pay.
Sure. We'll work it out when the time comes to pass, eh?
Oh, thank you. And then, of course, Nala will come up. Do you have any health potions to sell?
Health potions.
Health potions.
This girl needs all the potions.
This girl has a friend with a lot of potions.
But if friend goes down, who knows?
That's true.
Yeah, this friend
more people go down.
is below 40.
1 second.
Yeah, this friend
goes out back. And give me 1 second. Why is it impossible to find potions of healing?
Alright, I need to tell Emily I've done what she's bid me to do.
Bid me.
I didn't
know. It's ostentatious orchestra.
All right.
Ostentatious fruit.
Yeah. Ostentatious Orchestra is the book, yeah. But not the specific pink ale or whatever.
It's Ortholk.
Ortholk's
Or
pink.
Olfork.
Olfork's pink
Yes.
ale. Anyway, yes, I do have a couple. Here's one that's a little bit nicer, and here's a sort of normal one for you. One's nice, one's less good. That would be 200 gold.
200 altogether.
Actually, yes, 200 gold. You seem to be friends.
50 for the regular, 150 for the greater.
That's standard pricing. I'm giving you a deal because of those moonflowers. Since all these people are in town, I'd be charging way more.
If we divide our rewards, that's just your portion of the...
Yeah, I'll take that, yeah.
I'll take those 2.
Sure. Here you are. So you have a potion of healing and a potion of greater healing.
200.
Yep. Friends and family present.
I was thinking about bartering. You said that. I haven't bartered enough.
We know.
I know. It's such flack for not bartering.
Hey man, that's on me too. I was there. I didn't say.
I told her, I was like, I'm not paying them. I'm paying Cameron. It's truly it.
All right.
And then we'll go back.
So you find your way back to the safe house, and you all bed down, I'm assuming?
Hey everybody, I got our payment for the flowers.
Neat. How much?
It's 1,000 total, so 200 per. Yeah. Gotcha.
Neato.
That is 1,000 divided by 5, I think.
Yes.
Oh, thank God, I'm almost back to where I was before I bought those damn bagpipes.
Hey, they're nice, babe.
They're nice. I need to talk to the twins about that tomorrow.
Well, okay.
See if they know
taking
anything.
all this book anyway.
Okay.
Night.
Yep.
So you head back. Nobody else is in the safe house at the moment.
Disappointment. Kind of looks like Karen. Karen, you can send messages, right?
Yes.
Well, Shark can too.
I don't. No, I
Not like
just.
mine.
Yours is sending. Hers is just a 150 foot cantrip.
I just wanted to let
Send it in
Donna
somewhere.
know
I
that
can
we're
send anyone.
back. But it's fine. I'll see you when I see you.
Can.
No, it's okay.
Like me.
I don't want to look desperate.
I mean, I can let her know that we're back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nothing's not a win, man.
Would you please?
What's her name again?
Johanna.
Johanna. Yeah. I'm gonna cast Sending before bed.
Okay.
So it goes away. Because
What'd you do?
it's the level first. Howdy.
It's like Qren's signature.
Me and my esteemed friends have returned to the city from our travels. If you want to get a drink.
Okay.
Daisy agrees.
Takes a second, and you hear, Howdy. I'll see if I can make my way back that way, but I'm currently doing a little bit of reconnaissance on a big mission. It would be wonderful to see y'all, though. That's what you...
Can she hear that?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all
I'm just
good,
waiting
man.
patiently.
She's kind of in the middle of a mission, but she's going to try her best. For a little
Anything else before you go to bed?
hightail and hootenanny.
Got my claws, y'all.
Hot tail and hootin'.
They look very nice.
If you think I don't have a list of
Um,
colloquialisms.
I brought up the glaive
don't know who I
to
am.
the blacksmith. They checked their inventory for 20 minutes before they told me that
Same.
they didn't have it.
Yeah, alright.
You don't think they alerted anyone that you were looking for it, do you?
Damn it. I didn't even think of that. You people are ruining my life.
I mean, 20 minutes is just a really long time to
That is
look for
a long
inventory.
time. I was wondering about that.
Perhaps you should
I can-
disguise yourself
If I may,
in the future.
we can go back tomorrow, and I can possibly find what you're looking for if it's there.
Tell me, Anuka, do you know how to wield a glaive?
You might, actually.
Gosh dang darn it.
Martial weapons.
Yeah, are you proficient in martial weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
God damn it, we now have someone to use the glaive, we have to find the
Yeah, we
glaive.
carried it around for how many sessions with no one to use it?
And then
It's a really cool glaive, it shoots electricity.
Interesting. Very interesting.
This is blacksmith, is there cobbler?
Yeah.
We out here, y'all.
It's a big city.
Alright, I'm gonna go to bed.
Alright.
Bye.
So you all find your way, I'm trying to make to the next point. So you all find your way downstairs in this section. There's the main area with a big table in the center and like a bar with nobody manning it and a few other tables in the main area. And then they go back and there's like 6 rooms.
How many beds are in the rooms?
1. No, 2, sorry.
Yeah, just 2? Okay. I was going to offer to let her sleep in our room, but I already have a room.
2 rooms, 2 beds per room. So you all sleep?
Yes.
It's peaceful?
Squad.
Because you're inside? And you don't talk to any evil gods at the...
There's no dreams,
Not this time.
and there's no
no
demon attacking us from a stone.
Not this time. Not this time. And you all wake up, and it is the day before the day of the opening ceremonies of the tournament.
I'd like to go sign up for the tournament.
I'll go with you.
I think we all would.
Perhaps.
Oh, I thought it was one person can. But that's okay. Yeah,
Or
we
was
can
it
also sign up.
Those
Well,
that
'cause when-
enter the tournament cannot leave the grounds.
Oh, shit.
That's what I'm trying to...
That is
That's why
the thing.
we should
I think once you sign
finish.
up, you're there.
Yeah.
then go sign up. Whatever we might want to do. Also,
I'd
we
like
have
to
to take
go.
that writ to the adventurers.
Oh, truly, yes.
That's
You're
right.
right.
You do that, they hand it off. Great, thanks. That's all that
I'd
happens.
like to go talk to the twins
You
about.
already got paid for both of
Yeah.
those. So
Yeah.
Anything else interesting on the board while we're there?
Similar stuff. Nothing particularly as big right now except more recruiting notices.
Yeah.
That weird notice about supposed... Well, you wouldn't know, but Shar knows if she's with you. Points out the pirates notice from Midship Island.
That we saw last time.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. No, I just said excellent.
Oh, okay. I would like to visit the twins about the bagpipes.
Okay.
In the book. Journal.
You end up back at Nigel's shop, which is called The Bright Light. You head inside. The twins are sitting there, seemingly like talking with each other. One of them lifts up some dice. They seem to fall weirdly slowly and then clink, clink, clink. I think that wins, doesn't it? It does. And they are playing some...
Is it playing against yourselves or
Freak me out,
playing
and then
with
they
each
only talk to
other?
me. And then I like...
Yeah, it looks like they're playing dice, sort of. And they turn to see you. Ah, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Bright Light. We are currently taking care of... Oh, wait. You're Lilia.
Yes.
We know you.
I know you too.
Oh, and Qren.
Yeah.
How can I help you? How can we help you?
So I picked up some bagpipes
Sure.
when I was out while we were out on our adventures from a very interesting salesman, and they have this really interesting property where first of all they speak to me, and then also whenever I play them, illusions of dancing people appear.
Well,
And I was wondering if you knew anything about them, or where they're from, or like what the enchantment is on them, or anything along those lines.
well, give me 1 second. I would love to. If you're hoping for more information besides that they're really beautiful, though, you'd really have to find Nigel for that. Our magic is less precise than his. We were just asked because we were there. He seemed to be in such a hurry, though. He looked worried about something.
Oh, snap.
I'm gonna elbow Nala. Just be like, journal?
I will hand them the journal.
Kairi takes it. This is a very nice journal.
Thank you.
Is it for me?
Look at page like whatever.
Oh, all right. Scrolling.
Oh, I was like, that's a weird dice roll.
And again.
It's rolling.
This certainly seems to be some form of arcana.
Nailed it.
Very complex stuff, though. I don't even know what language is written in the margins here.
Do you happen to know if Vidar will be coming by?
I'm not sure. There seems to be some stuff happening up in Esterosi. He seemed worried as well on the message.
What did he say?
He said there's some people spreading odd word around town. Something that might be looked at as bad by Salvador. But I think he's trying to maintain a presence there for now. I mean, you could ask him if you have that capability. We don't get much information on our end. It's just a lot of, all right, we'll do that.
And you don't happen to know what Nigel is?
Nigel, I believe, is in the tournament grounds now.
Okay.
You'd have to see if you could find him there.
Yeah. Okay, and then you don't also happen to know what Johanna is up to at this point?
From what we know, she's working on the next step of the...
Okay, yeah, got it. Yep.
Oh, they don't know how to disguise the shop, do they? Is the shop disguised?
It is not.
No.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so
Yeah, only Nigel could do that.
yeah. So
Nigel and Vidar both know how to do it.
Okay, so I think maybe we want to send a quick message out to Vidar. I can't do that, so I...
What should I specifically be asking about? Because there's a lot to unpack.
Wouldn't be bad if you can ask if they can come here.
Well,
I mean, it sounds like they are kind of busy.
I would... The things I want to ask are you okay? Should we be concerned?
Okay, sure. I'll send a message and say, howdy.
Every time.
We had there was some trouble.
How are things in your neck of the woods? Are you okay? We heard whispering. Your good friend, Qren Balloon.
After a few seconds, you hear... hello. It has been a while. There are troops I don't recognize here. I'm trying to stay safe. I'm not sure what exactly is happening. Hold down the fort.
Squad. I tell them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doing some fort holding.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, okay, so remind me when our last day is to sign up for the tournament.
Today.
Today. Okay, so
Let's go.
have we done all the things we need to do?
Did you want to go back to the blacksmith, or can we just?
Oh, we already did.
Let's
I
go.
did that
Let's
yesterday.
just go.
Well, I know, but we talked about
Oh,
going
yes,
back.
if you wanted to see if you could figure out the glaive.
Oh yeah.
I would not go back because I think that'd be super suspicious.
You could disguise yourself.
I could disguise myself, yes.
I would love to help. It's the least I can do for you. You all showing me.
The tournament begins tomorrow, right?
Yeah, but you have to sign up the day before.
I'll disguise self because I just don't want to blow through a slot.
Yeah.
No,
Well, they do
psych,
that.
it's today.
I'm gonna go find a cobbler.
Okay, you find a cobbler.
Can I buy boots?
Get your boots.
Red.
All right.
They
Disguise
cost,
self. You are now
like,
walking next
a gold?
to a tall blonde woman with a black dress.
So just for my knowledge, you're looking for a glaive that shoots out lightning?
It discharges an electric charge upon impact on the opponent.
All right.
Made by a blacksmith in Oster by the name of Arfak Dockster.
Okay. So before we get there, before we walk in, I'm gonna cast Locate Object.
You have Locate Object? I don't see it on here.
So I have it right here. I have it prepared under...
you prepared new spells.
Yeah.
Forgot Paladins could do that too.
Oh yeah. Lucky people. Must be nice to change your spells every day.
Locate object. Describe or name an object that is familiar to you. So, what I'm going to say is, as you walk over to the blacksmith, you just make an intelligence check for me, Anuka. See if you can take Nala's description.
You want me to draw it?
You could try.
Okay, so check. That would just be...
Just check. Add your intelligence modifier.
Would this be a performance check?
Or add your 0.
Sleight of hand for the drawing.
That's going to be 6.
Oh, for the drawing with them.
Do the draw as a performance.
Performance? Okay. That's a 9.
It's a shitty drawing of a glaive.
And I got
when you cast it, you stand outside the blacksmith's, which isn't that big of a shop.
Mm-hmm.
You don't sense anything within 1,000 feet showing the glaive.
I'm sorry, I'm not picking up anything.
That's fine. Thank you anyways.
I forget that I also have that spell. So at some point I can try.
You didn't go, yeah, so this time.
Well, I also don't have it because it isn't the thing that I
While we're here, would you like to pop in and see their wares, or should we head to the tournament grounds?
I'm fine.
Oh, of course.
Please just sign up for the tournament.
Yes, I have to go soon.
Fine. I guess it's late.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is, since it is 10:30, you all walk over and you ask around. And what you see of the tournament grounds is in the theater district, there's a massive stadium, which was part of the theater district that you'd seen before. And now it's been blocked off by fences. And it goes all the way into the center square of Arkala. And you follow the fences, and you go all the way to the center square, and you see that there is a tent off to the side that says, "Tournament people who wish to enter the tournament, please enter here." And there are 2 different entrances into the tournament grounds blocked off by 2 different tents. One's for people who are viewing, and one's for people who are part of the tournament. And as you head inside, the people who are wanting to, you head into the tournaments, you see at this big desk, this very old man hunched over, looking in this big book and talking to his attendant, says, "Yes, I think that is exactly what we should do. Oh, hello and welcome. Welcome. It looks like you are adventurers. I'm sure you're here to sign up for the tournament. Champions of the Kingdom. My name is Democrito Zolezi. I've been doing this for 30 years now. Anyway, don't mean to boast, but I know a thing or two about adventuring and this tournament. Anyway, if you'd like to sign up, I can go over the rules and how much it would cost and how much you might be able to win."
What is the entry fee?
It's 200 gold for a team to sign up. That goes somewhat towards the fee and somewhat towards keeping the upkeep of the tournament. It's just it's not a formality as such, just importance in order to be able to move forward. Now then, are you all familiar with how the Champions of the Kingdom tournament works?
Not intimately.
All right. Well, let me explain. In this tournament, my cat will use the litter box very loudly.
Vigorously poos.
And very
But scratch the walls completely pointlessly and not actually do anything. Anyway, you can say.
It's Daisy. She's just hanging
How
around.
bad at catting your cat is.
It's bad.
This is meta.
It's 40 gold, by the way, if we were all to split the entry fee.
By 6?
Or, no, you're
It's
right.
33.33, so 2 people have to pay 34.
Okay.
I'll pay 34.
So, the Champions of the Kingdom International Tournament of Champions there are 6 events which test different skills you may have. And then there is 1 combat round for each team. The combat round is simple to explain. You fight a monster or various monsters, and if you win, you get 5 points. You have another 25 points of a pool, which is used every time someone goes down. 2 points are removed from that pool. And then those points, the 5 if you win, and then the 2 points removed from the 20, it's added together, and your team gets that point. As far as the skill challenges go, there is something for strength. There are a couple to test dexterity. 1 for constitution, intelligence, etc. You get it. And each person will have to take part in one of these events, as I see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you here. So each one of you would have to take part in one of these challenges. Strength, it's pushing a boulder. Different sizes of boulder. Forward. And making sure you can get it 10 feet. Every 10 feet you get, or if you manage to push whatever size it is, you get a certain amount of points. Etc. All this is more described in the event as it follows. Of course, I'm just giving you a rundown. In dexterity, if somebody wants to take part in the acrobatics course or the archery contest, that both counts as a single event. You choose which one you wish to take part in. Constitution is fun. It's a drinking contest. Everybody loves that in the world.
Who's got the highest constitution? Yeah.
Great.
Then there's an intelligence test. It's all about whether you know certain things about the world and adventuring in general. Few questions, not a long quiz, but it's one you get right, you get points. There's then a wisdom one, being able to see if there's something different in what you see before you. You'll see a room. Objects will be added. You'll have to see if you can see what's different. And then, of course, one of the most popular, which sets off our tournament, is the performance challenge. Everybody who is really good at speaking or playing an instrument or singing will perform for a group of judges who will determine how good the event is. All the points that you get from those are added to your fighting points, and it's ranked daily. This tournament is 3 days long. Count 'em. 3. And at the end, we have an awards ceremony. And the winner gets 5,000 gold, a large trophy, and a particularly interesting magical item. The second prize place person gets 2,000 gold, a smaller trophy, and a somewhat interesting magical item. And the third prize is 1,000 gold and a trophy. Everybody below that gets the joy of participating in such an esteemed event. Now, would you wish to sign your team up for this tournament, then?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was told that there is the possibility we might not be allowed to leave the grounds after submitting ourselves.
Yes, there was that rule implemented this year by Salvador de Story, long may he reign, that the tournament participants may not leave the tournament grounds for the duration of the event.
Are there any restricted items in terms of potions?
Not at all. You may bring whatever is necessary as an adventuring team to do your thing.
Do your thing.
So, I will need a team name from all of you. And he whips out this huge quill. It's like 3 feet long.
I wonder.
Dips. Yes?
The bone arrow.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The bone era.
The bone era.
Yes.
Sure. All right, that's perfectly normal and not weird in any way.
Well, I mean, so is having a name for your friends. Whatever.
I didn't catch that, but I assume it was a scathing remark at my expense.
Never.
Anyway, I'll need everyone's names. Yes, let's start with you.
Kimbatul Nala.
Sure, that makes sense. We have another Kimbatul here. That's very interesting. Just signed up earlier this day. And you?
Oh, my name is Shah.
Shar.
My name is Anuka Telva.
Excellent, excellent. You'll be pleased, maybe, to know that there is another group from the Beastlands. You're a very diverse group. Everyone else is representing something important. Not important. Something specific is what I really meant to say. I didn't mean any offense. You are?
Qren Davud.
Of course. Just making you say it.
Squid Squad.
Yes? Lilia. And you, finally. Win. We will be introducing your whole team at the opening ceremonies tomorrow evening in the stadium. Each team will be introduced to fanfare and cheers. We will have an opening feast. And then the tournament begins.
Neat.
And we'll end it.
I was like, I really gotta go.
No, yeah. All right.
I'm gonna go change real quick.
Don't change.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for listening.
Yay!